Morning, all you horror wrestling fans out there. This is Wrestling with the Horror of It All, and today on the chopping block, we're returning to a simpler time, the 90s, with a horror classic, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. But first up is our dark match of the day, the WWE Raw on Netflix recap for July 6th, 2026, and we're finally going to give you our Night of Champions thoughts. We're the Not Funny Guys. I'm Casey, and this here is my visionary, Eric.
I have been to the promised land.
You have been to the promised land.
Have seen the belt of belts.
You have. Did you try it on?
Even it's not even big enough for my fat ass, let's be honest. So unfortunately. No, I did
Tell him.
So I'm on a road trip, as everyone knows, and I'm still on it technically. But I went to the WWE headquarters in Connecticut, somewhere south.
Somewhere in Connecticut. It's fine. You don't need to say the town.
It was fine. Like, it was hard to park near, mostly because I had no idea where I was going or what I was doing. It was kind of a last minute. I'm driving down the interstate and I see the WWE logo on a building, and I remember they're in Connecticut. It's close to the New York border, as I am, and I was like, oh snap! I feel like I should go see if there's anything fun there, right? Go check it out. So I did go. I stopped by. I did park eventually about a block away. Kind of walked around, saw the outside of the building, saw the giant wrestling belt at the front of the entrance of the promenade, sort of idea. And then that's it. There was some construction going on the entranceway, but I did try to walk up to it. Did not open for me. It was automatic doors. I don't know if that's construction related or if they saw me coming. But ultimately, I did not get the chance to go in. I did try to see from the outside, at least. I was already kind of running a little late, so I did try to see from the outside if there was anything that looked like a store or sort of a place for visitors, essentially. And there didn't seem to be. Now, I will probably be making this trip a few more times in my life. So if I got that wrong, I will try to stop and do it better next time. But ultimately, it really does just seem like the corporate offices. There's nothing that cool from the outside, at least. I mean, it's got a giant glass front, some cool WWE branding and stuff that way. But otherwise, yeah, that's about it. But I was glad to stop. I got some pictures. I'm sure Casey will find a way to throw them on the socials. Even though some of the ones of me are ugly. And yeah, I guess that's me. Nothing fancy. I really was hoping to run into someone. And I had it in my head that if they had let me in, they're like, oh, if you could meet anyone, who would it be? Of course, that's Triple H talking to me because he'd meet me at the door. And I would have said Paul Heyman. I think that's who I decided I really wanted to be able to meet, to get a picture with, to say hi to, and to essentially say thank you to. He's kind of been a through line throughout my year and a half now of wrestling. So he is someone that I see as a leader of the storylines. I think he had a moment this past Raw where he was kind of opened it up and started things. And honestly, it's just one of those he is kind of the lead chorus member, right? He is the lead Thespis of the chorus. Where he represents a little bit of the audience mindset, but he also represents the kind of he makes me think Greek theater the most in the way that he kind of tells you where the story is going through what he's saying now, right? And so it's very rare that they leave Paul Heyman with a very kind of cryptic statement, because he is meant to give us that sort of context at times. He's the one who's solving for Brock Lesnar, as Brock Lesnar even said, he's good at promos, I'm not. So that's his role. And I think that Paul Heyman, through Unreal too, and what I've seen with Unreal, which is a new season coming soon, the what I've seen of him through that is that he's not just this sort of personality in front of the cameras, but that he's part of the producers, right? He's part of
Yeah.
the writing team, essentially. He's really deciding directionally where the company is going with some of its major players, and I think he deserves a lot more credit than he maybe gets, and I'm sure he gets a lot, but he probably still deserves even more. Because yeah, he's just a lot of fun to watch. As someone who is not a beefcake sort of guy, so it's not like I ever pictured myself as one of the wrestlers. If I could be anyone in the wrestling universe today, I'd probably still choose Paul Heyman. Um, and he's looking a little trimmer. Is that just me? Did it feel like he maybe lost a little weight in his break? I don't know if he's on some GLP-1s or whatnot. Not that it would be a
I
bad thing, but I want more Paul Heyman, so I hope that he is at least healthy no matter
I
what.
feel like he had some medical issues, so I
Yeah, he
assume
did. Well,
that's
he
all
got
tied to it.
taken down, quote unquote, right? But then that pushed him out. He had some actual bruising or really good makeup done on his face. Um,
Well, I
and
saw
so
some
yeah.
interviews or some it was like an interview or something where and I would need to like double check to get like true validity of it, but there was something talking about how at some point in time he went out like with I want to say like an IV somehow like attached to him. So he could go
Mm.
do like a promo or something. There was something weird. There was something a
Holy
medical thing
cow.
attached
Yeah.
to him so he could do something. But well that's awesome that you got to go.
Yeah, I was very happy to go.
I
Long
would
story
have
short.
I would have gone up to the front doors too because I know right in the entrance they have that giant mural. And when you walk in and you look to your left of the front doors, at least in videos of what we've seen, like when Danhausen went, that video
Mhm.
where he goes and invades the office. When you walk through the
Mhm.
front door and you look to your left, there's a ginormous mural of Andre the Giant. As
Yes.
soon as that's what I would like if I was there and if they would have opened the doors for me and they're like, "What do you want?" I'd be like, "Look,
Who
I
are
actually,
you?
I would be like, I actually just want to see this mural. That's literally what I want to do. I don't need
Uh-huh.
to like tour your office, maybe unless you want to let me, but I
Hey, I
would
mean,
just
we
want to,
can.
yeah, like I would want to see the mural because it always looks really cool
Yeah.
in pictures and on video, and I would like to just see it for myself if they let the door open. Now, if they were like, you can meet any wrestler or anyone, I don't know who I would want to. I mean, there's a ton I would love to meet. Don't get me wrong. I would love to
Sure.
like be
Sure.
able to
Yeah.
pick CM Punk's brain or Danhausen's, Alexa's. There's lots I would like to do, but I don't know if I can narrow it down to like this is the one. Like you can meet one person, you have unlimited access to them for 30 minutes. Ask away anything you want. Talk to them about whatever. Have coffee with them. I don't know if I could just pick like who. Like there's so
Mhm.
many interesting people that I would just want to like
Yeah, I
talk
mean,
to.
I chose Paul Heyman, but I mean, I would not have been upset to meet so many different people, right?
Yeah.
Danhausen would be another great one. Again, I come at it, I think, from a theater standpoint, and I'd really, I think maybe you and I should maybe talk about really trying to really see if there's ways we can connect the dots even more to Greek theater,
Yeah.
yeah, and the storylines even of the parables and such,
Mm.
because I get the feeling that like you see people like Paul Heyman, of course,
Yeah.
but then you see actors like Danhausen kind of come
Yeah.
into the mix, and they add a level to the show, even though they're not necessarily wrestling, right?
Hmm.
Danhausen's almost a commedia dell'arte type, level
Yeah.
character at this point, in his mannerisms and his abilities. Um, so it'd be a lot of fun to, I mean, for you and I to start tracking it and maybe making something more of this pod than just talking about it, but actually showing the connections. But then ultimately, yeah, I think like a Danhausen, I mean, I'd love to talk to Triple H or the Game or whatever he goes by. Um, I think CM Punk would be good, but I actually would prefer Seth Rollins because I think Seth Rollins is more of a player of the game,
I
is more
I
theatrical
was gonna say if
about
you're talking
his
theater
mindset.
side, yes, Seth
Right.
over
Yeah.
Punk. I would actually want a combo, quite honestly. So let's say we did Danhausen, but I also want to talk to his head writer, or we talked to CM or Seth Rollins and his head
Right.
writer. Like I would
Right.
love to get that combo. How do you guys work in
Mm.
unison to build the show that you do. Um, that would
Yeah,
be
I mean
really
that would be really
fascinating
neat. Yeah.
conversation to talk. That's one of the reasons I love the Unreal show is because I get snippets of that. I may not get the
Mhm.
full thing, but I get snippets. I get to see how I get to see behind the curtain. Like Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, her writer would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Just because she is that the journeyman actor. She's out there
Mhm.
just she does whatever she needs to do and she just gets the job
Chelsea, yeah.
done and she sells it and she does such a great job. Whereas, CM Punk or
You're
Cody
right.
Rhodes are the lead and they're just gonna have everything catered to them in this production that we are following. This King Lear that is unfolding for us right now. And do you think they
Yeah,
ever
I mean,
take in wrestling, they go, this season, let's act out Lear. Let's do Henry IV, but in wrestling
mm,
terms. I wonder if they ever try to do anything kind of like that.
I don't know. That would
Because
be
it could
kind
work
of,
really interesting. Like you could
I
do
mean,
it.
well, that's what I mean is that you could, with these, especially with your really classical plays that,
Yeah.
or, that's why I say Greek theater too,
Yeah.
just because it does rely on it. I imagine that there are plenty of, we'd have to become a little historic, with it too,
Mhm.
because, um, I imagine a lot of it's past,
Yeah.
at this point. But yeah, I get the feeling that they're they are pulling from the greats, right,
Yeah.
in order to create some of their storylines, right? Where I mean, heck, not to skip around too much, but the Maxine Austin Theory stuff has hints of, well, I mean, what it made me think of the most in the moment was Grease. But then you could
Yeah.
argue Grease is a sort of a taming of the shrew,
Yeah.
sort of take on it in a way. Not that I think Maxine fits the Catherine sort of character in that way, but then you also have, you have character sets that I think they've lifted these sort of standard characters. That's why I use Commedia dell'arte for Danhausen. But you look at what's the team that Clark Gable and Maxine are from with Otis and
Oh shit. I've been trying to think of the name.
it's something University or
Alpha Academy. Thank you.
Alpha Academy. Thank you. Those that pairing, right, looks like a pairing from so many different Shakespearean pairings. The clown
Yeah.
sets.
Mhm.
Like you could point to The Tempest. You could point to any of the comedies. Really, there's usually a kind of a pairing of two clowns, and I get the feeling that you have that sort of character structure across the board. Now, some of these guys maybe not, right? I don't know that I think. Oh, who did we see fight Trick Williams in the PLE?
Oh, Ethan Page.
No, no, no,
Oh
no, no.
no, no, it was the Saints.
Reigns or
Something.
Saints. Yeah, Jackie's. I don't know.
Johnny. Is it
It,
Johnny Saints?
sure. It shows you how much he made an impact. Um, I think right now he's just kind of a raw mold of clay on stage. Right.
Yeah.
There's not necessarily a character in him. And I think that there is very rarely do you see a character walk in the door. Right. Even John Cena would probably admit that who he started as and who he ended as were completely different characters.
Yeah.
Right. Um,
Ricky Saints.
yeah,
It's got to be Ricky Saints. I think it's
Ricky
Ricky.
Saints. Yeah. So I don't know. That's a long way short of saying, I respect all of these people, and it's fun to start watching it differently now. Now that
Yeah.
I want to start seeing these things.
Isn't wrestling fun? Like there's so many layers to it. There's cheeseball to it as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's fun,
And
but
it's
it's
so
also
it's
tiring
melodramatic
at times.
so much.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
tiring when you have a podcast when you however, if we didn't, then we might let too far go and then you try to catch up and then that's a nightmare as well. It
Yeah.
it is one of those. It's a
There's no
commitment.
win, right?
No.
There's no easy answer here, but it's a lot of fun.
It
I'm enjoying
is
it.
it is a lot of fun. Oh, I'm glad you got to go. I'm glad you got to check out some stuff. Let's jump to we're gonna backtrack a tiny bit.
All right.
Because I can. Um,
How dare you?
I know. Sandy meter, where are you sitting this week? I still know what you did last summer, sanity wise.
Um, yeah, I mean, I got this kind of fun, but maybe dipping into the two level, but it's an easy peasy sort of week for me.
What about enjoyment?
Um, I'm gonna say this was closer to a good donut.
Really? Yeah.
This was a standard decent. This was a standard donut from a local place, not a Dunkin', right?
All right.
But it wasn't necessarily the best donut place that's local, right? It's not like you're like, oh, until I want to come here. It was it was a fine donut,
Speaking of donuts, did you go to the donut shop in Salem? The
No,
Funhouse Donuts? Oh, you should have gone to
no,
Funhouse.
no, we should have.
Oh,
We
yeah.
didn't we didn't get a chance to do a lot. Because well, the Cape obviously took up a large chunk of our time when we
Yeah.
were in Boston. And then between Rachel kind of her birthday,
Yeah.
um, the big birthday that it was, there was a lot of just kind of planning for that.
Yeah.
And then also staying at our friends, there's a little bit of I love them to death, but we have to kind of make sure that they're happy, right? And,
Yeah.
and we're hanging out with them and spending time, especially since he's a big baseball guy.
Yeah, no, you missed the chance to go see Obsession with me. We could have gone. I still haven't seen
I
it, by the
did,
way. I
I
did
did.
not. I
I
did not
haven't
go see it.
either. I apologize about that.
It's
You're
fine.
bringing it up a thing. I really
No,
do. That
you're
that made me
fine.
feel awkward all night. I won't lie. But like,
No, you're
to
fine.
that point, there's millions of people that I feel like I have to see when I'm back in that area.
Yeah, you aren't here to see
Um,
me, Eric. It's fine. It's
I
seriously
I
fine.
I'm always there to see you,
I
Casey.
had
I'm
only
always there
I
for
had
you.
only asked because my wife said, "Hey, since you're not going to go do that, do you want to still hang with him?"
What's
That
funny is
was
his wife was like, "Oh, since you're not going to the game, because I invited him
yeah,
too, right? Why don't you call up, one of
another
our
friend. Yeah,
friends, yeah, and see if you can all go to like a brewery or something together?" And
yeah.
and so that's unbeknownst to me because I was upstairs watching. I still know what you did last summer
Yeah.
and things like
So
that.
no worries. Do not feel bad about it at all. Do
Yeah,
not feel bad about it. We got
I
to hang
do,
out
but
for
it's
your
fine.
wife's birthday. So,
We did, and
hey,
I
tell
am
him what you got
actually
for your birthday.
I have Casey got me a Seth Rollins action figure that is actually signed by Seth Rollins. I
I
don't
did.
know how you found that, or where you found it, but thank you, sir. That is
Um,
awesome.
I'm really good at finding
You
gifts for
are.
people. I'm actually
I'm
really
always
good at
like
finding.
trying to like figure out how to get you something. I'm like, oh, and then I fail, and then I feel bad. I'm like, ah. So I would love to know how to get you something good.
I I treasure every gift anyone gets me, even if it's something that I already
Oh,
have,
listen to
which
him.
has happened before, where sometimes people get me the same thing, and they never know it. I'll never
Sure.
tell them, and I still keep
Have I
whatever
ever
it
gotten you
is.
the same thing as what you had?
No, you have not. My wife has once,
Would
and
you
my
actually tell me
brother-in-law has.
since you just said you'd never tell him?
You're asking me, you're putting me on the spot and asking me, but you honestly have
Okay.
not. But my brother-in-law has, and my wife has before, and I still have both of those things, and I keep them and treasure them because it's a gift from someone, and I know which one came from which. So if I were to ever be like, well, I don't need two of blank that my brother-in-law got me, I would get rid
Mm.
of the one that he did not give me, and I know which one very specifically that is. So I do treasure. I'm actually easier to get
See
gifts
this, folks?
for
He's a
than
what a mensch.
I know. I am easier to get gifts for than people think. They assume I'm not. I will always appreciate and cherish whatever someone gets me. Because I like to think of it as you're trying to get me something that you think I would like, which means that it came from somewhere from you, that
Mm.
you think that I would like. And whenever I try to get gifts for people, I always try to think of what do they like, and then I go from there. Anyway, I saw this and it was like the perfect thing for you outside of getting
Yeah.
something that was Alexa Bliss. Um,
It was really cool.
and I hope your wife enjoyed the cookies.
She did. She liked them a lot. She
Yeah.
was very, very thankful for
My wife
those.
was like, "Are they vegan? Can she eat them?" I'm like, "Rachel, they are cookies, not meat pies, first off. And second, she's not vegan."
I've never known a macaroon that wasn't vegan. So that would be, I mean, I'm sure someone out there has made chicken and dumplings or some shit like that, into which I imagine would have some sort of,
Awful flavor.
bouillon at the very
Yeah.
least. Yeah. But yeah, no, she loved them. She took them down. She had some obviously, that
Yeah.
night, and then she took the rest down on her trip. I think she ate them as a snack on her road trip.
That's awesome.
Down.
That's awesome. I'm glad she enjoyed them.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun
Yeah, she was
picking them
very
out.
appreciative. It was great seeing you guys, and even Karen and David. We're glad to see you guys and kind of talk and meet you.
Yeah.
Had you never met them
Nope.
before?
Never met
Okay.
them before. Never met them before, but that's okay. All right, let's get into some wrestling stuff, shall we? Not to
Let's
cut
go.
off of the sappy talk, but we got lots of things to cover.
Oh,
We've been gone for a bit, so here's how this is going to
we
work a tiny
have.
bit, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to do the complete rundown like we kind of normally do, even though I'm slowly trying to break away from that to make it a little bit more free flowing. But um, we're not going to do that this time. We're going to just kind of talk little bits in here. The closest thing that we're probably going to get to a little bit of a rundown is going to be what we're going to talk about right this moment, which is Night of Champions. Um,
No.
so Night of Champions led off with the free hour, surprisingly, with the King and Queen of the Ring. I'm kind of surprised they did that a little. Well, I'm not surprised on the first one. It's the second one that kind of
I
got
was
me.
surprised. I was surprised.
I'm not surprised for the Oba J just because they're trying to promote Oba and he's a
Yeah,
good
that makes
draw.
sense. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the Liv Morgan Io Sky one. I'm like, really? That was the one you did? You should have done like if you wanted to do one of the women's, it should have been Tiffy Jade, quite honestly. And I get that it was a championship match, but they didn't change the belt. So you could have just done it and showcased the women. If that's what you were going to do, I think it would have worked better, but that's beside the point. What'd you think of the Oba J fight?
I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, I clearly picked the winner, so I knew from the outset that he was going to win. It just was too much of a matchup. I didn't see it. I just didn't see how that would work.
For the
I would
record,
really
I
like,
this is the outcome I wanted. For the
yeah.
record, I just didn't think WWE was going to do it. I thought they were gonna.
Well, what I would like to see is Oba go after the bloodline. Like I think that would actually be an interesting story. Now that they've already beaten Jay, it would be good for him to say, "I'm going to come for Roman's belt." Right?
Yeah,
If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it, to the best against the best, and I'm going to go against the bloodline, right?
and
And
that's
so I
what I
could see him saying
predicted
Roman,
last episode,
and I
if you
think,
remember.
yeah, but Jay was never going to beat him, right?
No,
I
no,
think
no,
I
no.
think if
I
you're
was
going to beat
saying no.
Oba,
Sorry, let me rephrase. When I was said that what I would love would
uh-huh.
be for Oba to get it and then go after the bloodline, which is what I predicted, and then you just have Roman every week leading to SummerSlam, send different people, and then
Yes,
Oba just
yes.
wipes the floor with them,
Yeah, I
and
do want that too.
you get to a very scared Roman Reigns for SummerSlam. Now we know that as of this moment, he's not fighting for the belt at SummerSlam. They're changing the rules. Normally, King of the Ring would go to SummerSlam and challenge for the belt. They're not doing that right now. They still can, and I hope they do, because I want a double fight. I want it to be, hey, I want Roman Reigns to be like, look, he won, and the rules are, the norm is, the precedence is, King of the Ring fights for the belt at SummerSlam. I don't care if he's got Brock Lesnar. Have him fight Brock Lesnar night one. I fight him on night two. I want that. That's what it says as a way of I'm just going to tire him down so I can keep the belt.
Right, right. Essentially, at that point, you're throwing everyone at him and Brock Lesnar, right? You're
Yes,
like Jacob Fatu is probably the last to go at him the week before,
that's what I would think too. Yep.
and then Brock Lesnar the night before,
Yep.
and then Roman
Roman.
struts in like he's hot shit. And I personally would like to see him take down Roman.
Yes, that's what I want too. I would like him to whoop Roman's ass at that point, and then the rematch is at WrestleMania, and to let him keep it.
Or WrestlePalooza. Are they doing WrestlePalooza again, or was
I
that
have
just
no
a
idea.
last year thing to capitalize on Cena?
I think it was a last year thing, but I want him to keep it all the way through WrestleMania. I want it to be Oba is like everyone fight me, like his little challenge thing he did before, and every
Hmm.
Monday someone comes out there and he just whoops them constantly, and then let Roman eventually rebuild his faith and his trust, and then he can go back
Who
and
does
re-challenge. But
who does So I feel like at a certain point, Oba takes on the Usos,
yeah,
um, and what do you call it? Takes on the Usos.
and
What am I trying to say
I
here?
have no idea what you're trying to say.
In like a tag team match, because
Oh,
like
okay.
the greatest tag team. Do you ever see Oba teaming?
I think will be more fascinating if Oba, when he gets it, he gets a big head, and let him start to not go heel but be
Oh, excuse me.
anti-hero a little bit,
Hmm.
and let him be like, I will take on both of you. Like, no one can stop
Kind
me.
of thought the
I
same
will
would be
fight
kind of neat.
both of you. And
Yeah.
I would do something unprecedented. WWE, take note. I'm giving you an idea here. As Paul Heyman has told us, tag teams are very fudgeable. Very, very
Mm,
fudgeable. Let Oba go after the tag belts by himself and let him win somehow. Just to be like, look at this unstoppable. Then take him down. Obviously, we want to see him taken down at some point, but just let him take the belts. And then actually, I would let him take the belts, and then I would set up a whole storyline where every tag team is like, no, you can't do that, and force him. Let Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce force him to have to find a partner. Be like, you got the belt. We allowed this to happen. We didn't think it would happen.
right.
Now you have 30 days to find a partner. And you have to constantly, we are going to make you challenge for them every week until you find a
Hmm.
partner. Do
All right.
something kind of
I
fun like that.
could probably accept that. That sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
If anyone would, if I was going to ever buy anyone being able to do that, it's Oba at this moment. I think Oba's earned he could get those belts by himself.
Or, hear me out.
Yeah.
Oba essentially has that thought,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to go and let me just take them on. I don't need a tag partner. Let
Uh-huh.
me be alone.
Yeah.
And WWE says, no, that's simply, you cannot do it. We will not let you.
If you're going to say he gets Mitch McConnell and Mitch McConnell
No, Jesus Christ. Don't even make this political.
just sits there.
No, I'm what I'm going to say is that he teams up with Danhausen. And so Danhausen doesn't really have to wrestle at that point, right?
Yeah.
He does, right?
Yeah.
But Oba's going to take care of the brawn, right?
Yeah.
Let him come in and have a fun craziness with him.
Hmm.
Let them add that zany
Yeah.
cursedness to some major storylines.
Yeah.
If anything, reward Danhausen for
Yeah.
for bringing up so much, along with Oba,
Hmm.
and just let him, be good. And then at a certain point, right, to get out of that scenario and to break the tag team, then Danhausen, of course, accidentally curses Oba,
Oh.
in which case Oba, falls from grace's, Danhausen, and voila.
What if we tie the two together where Oba gets them on his own and then Adam and them are like, you have to have someone, and then it becomes Danhausen. For the same
I don't,
reason,
I
he's
don't,
like,
I don't see why that would be the case, though, right? I
oh,
don't see why you would let him get them and then require him to have a tag partner after.
I would, yeah, it would take some fudgeability. I think you could do it. Anyway,
You could
it was
do
a
it.
good, I,
I just think Danhausen you can do it at that point. And even then, Oba could put him in his place for a second. Like, you sit
yeah,
out there, just go narrate. And so he
yeah.
just goes and talks at and so
Well,
you see Oba as a singular
that would be
winner,
really funny
essentially.
if he's
But
like,
Danhausen gets to carry the title too, And then eventually Oba can be like, you are, maybe it's not even he gets accidentally cursed, because what do you do
yeah,
with that? Obviously Oba has to start losing, so maybe that's
yeah,
how, right? And so that's a way to get the losses more understood, quote
mhm,
unquote, from the sort of godlike figure you've created.
yeah,
Um, but then if you don't go from the curses, maybe Oba's ego,
yeah,
right? Here we are talking Coriolanus or
mhm,
Othello even, gets the better of him, and he can't let Danhausen have one of those belts, the tag belts, essentially with him for doing nothing, right?
all right,
And so at that point, it's a breaking of the tag, while they own it. I don't know how
yeah,
you would do that, but that might be interesting.
all right, all right. I don't hate it.
I don't know. There's possibilities. I just feel like the seriousness of Oba and the goofiness of Danhausen could be an interesting tag pairing, and I'd like to see it.
Yes, I would agree. It would be a very interesting tag pairing. The important thing is you won this particular
Of
prediction.
course I did. Of course I did.
And it was but we both wanted. You just called it.
Yeah.
I just being contrarian was like, I don't feel WWE is gonna do it. So I was happy they did. Then they fuck it up right after. But Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. We both thought it was gonna be Liv. Um, and I still think it should have been Liv. Because I don't give a shit about this. Because
I
this is what they're
I
gonna
I am
do.
kind of with you. Yeah, I
They're
don't know
gonna
what they're
make
gonna
us
do.
watch the same fucking fight again.
Yeah. Which I hate when they do. I hate when they fight only to say, let's do it again. And
Yeah.
you're like, but why? Like we just did it. We know how this goes.
And the only way that they make that interesting to me
Liv
is
wins.
Liv got to win, but Liv has to cheat so much. Like it needs to be like the most absurdly ridiculous amount of cheating. Like you need to call in the Judgment Day, past, present, and future. Like a new person needs to come in. Like it's just got to be bonkers, or else
Okay.
I feel this next match is going to fall flat. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're doing what they did, but whatever. They were in a tricky situation no matter what. Um, Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints. We both got this one, and I think I could say safely we both didn't give a shit about this match.
Safely, so yes.
Yeah. Tiffy Stratton versus Jade Cargill. I got it. I got it.
Did it. You did.
Not only did I get it, Eric,
Mhm.
for once in my life, I even got my add-on.
You did. You
Like,
did.
I told you one day it's going to happen. And Chelsea Green didn't let me down.
This was a good one to bet on for that
Yeah.
one. Because this you were right. Like I don't know what they're doing with it, but I see the story coming together with Chelsea. It'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see this play out more, and I'm glad she's getting her storyline moment.
And they're working it really well on SmackDown. Like I'm appreciating what they're doing on SmackDown with this. I think it's tying together nicely, and I
Well, it feels like
appreciate it.
she's starting to come into her own finally a little bit too. Like it, I don't know how long she's been on the payroll, so to speak. It seems like a while, but it feels like she's really getting some good attention,
Yeah.
and good intros, right? Her All American stuff fits the moment with the 250 and stuff like that. So it's just kind of fun to see.
Yeah. Although I
Yeah.
hated that she had to drop social because people thought she was MAGA. And she's like, I am not MAGA. I am Canadian and I cannot even vote in this country. And if I could vote, I'm very liberal.
I'd still not be MAGA.
Yeah.
I appreciate her answer. Like all the,
Yeah.
I was worried. You're like people were saying she's MAGA, and I was like, oh no, she is. Like, but then she's not, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Um,
I could see Tiffy.
I could see Tiffy too, but
I don't know. I don't. It's hard for me honestly to see anyone actually that's that because I just disagree. But we'll leave it there. This
yeah.
isn't not funny politics.
Anywho, this match it became better than I was expecting, and
Mm,
I appreciated the match, and I'm glad that Tiffy won,
yeah.
because I prefer Tiffy over Jade Cargill, particularly this incarnation of Jade Cargill. I don't
Hmm.
like this weird. There's something just off with this iteration. I liked when she first came out there. Jade's first run when she was still like the Ice Queen and all that. I thought that was better. And when she was solo, and even when she teamed up with Bianca, I thought was a much better run for her than this Lash Legend run. I'm
Yeah.
just not a fan of it. Um, I can tell you why I think I don't like this. It feels I don't think that this is what they're going for. I don't.
Hmm.
But it feels like they just were like, we need an angry black woman,
Hmm.
and this is what we're going to do as a team of angry black women. That's what it feels like, and I don't like it.
Hmm.
I don't think that's what they're
Interesting.
intentionally trying to do,
No.
but I don't like it. I liked when she was more interesting. And I think they lost that when she had the belt and didn't fight for damn near like 6 months.
Yeah, I would agree that costume. I'm curious to know if that was on her or if that was on them.
Yeah, I'd love to know too.
Was
Was
she
she
choosing not to
yeah,
fight you, right?
yeah. Or I was gonna say, was she filming a movie, which could also have
Mm,
been part of it. Anyway,
that's a good point.
Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. I was um I was excitish for this, and this actually didn't really let me down. I thought this was
This turned out
a
good.
good match. You got it. We both technically called Seth. You just did Seth. I threw in the qualifier that I thought Bronson Reed was going to come back, and he did not. Because why would they not? Why would they do something good? Why would
Mhm.
they do something good? But all in all, this was a fine match. I'm done with this storyline, though. Can we be done with this storyline now?
Yes, please let this be the end. I
Yes.
don't feel like it is.
Of course
But
not.
please, it would be great if it were.
I will accept two outcomes of this. I will accept Bronson Reed comes back and he teams up with Seth Rollins. That's outcome one that I will accept. And they bring down the Vision together. Outcome number two, we find out that Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins are in a secret relationship. And this was just their courting and trying to hook up. At which
Okay.
point, I will accept this. Outside of that, I'm done
That's a
with
big
this.
asks there by me saying.
Outside of this, I'm done with this storyline. Please be done with it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Well, we both knew the ultimate outcome of this. We
Yes.
both figured out Cody was about to lose this belt.
Yeah.
We both picked different people. I thought it was going to be Gunther. You picked Sami for reasons that are probably actually accurate as to why Sami won it. Because he was in Saudi Arabia and all of that. Which
I think that this was their gift to Saudi Arabia as an
I think
appreciation, maybe even as an apology for
I
Royal
think so
Rumble.
too. I think so too. Did you see
Because he lost it immediately. I mean, not to jump
yeah.
ahead, but
Did you what Royal Rumble was the one where Finn Balor fought Dom, right?
no, I think that was Elimination Chamber.
Was it Elimination Chamber in
I
Saudi
forget.
Arabia? Wherever
I
it was in
forget.
Saudi Arabia. Anyway, I was reading an interview with Finn Balor, and he said that he went over there to do that fight, and he was going to
Mhm.
do the demon makeup, and he starts to put on the makeup, and he notices something is wrong with the makeup, and he's like, "What?" He's asking like the makeup person, like, "Where's my makeup? Why is this not
Mhm.
my makeup?" They're like, "You can't have this makeup because your makeup has alcohol in it, and alcohol is banned over here in Saudi
Oh,
Arabia." All first off, fucking dumb right there. It's in fucking
yeah,
makeup. Your people aren't going to drink makeup. So
yeah.
fuck off, first piece. I'm clearly not ever going over there because I wouldn't be allowed. But fuck off. Anyway, so the makeup person's like, what we can do with your makeup, we'll use this, I guess it was an oil base. They're like, we
Uh,
can spray your makeup with hairspray and it should keep it from running. And he's like, sure. So they spray it with makeup. Well, with hairspray. As he was sweating, it got into his eyes and burned his retinas. And
oh my
for
God.
several hours, he was blind. And he didn't know if he was actually going to be able to see again. He
Jesus.
said in the interview that it was the scariest thing he had ever had happen to him.
Yeah, I bet.
It was basically the flight home is when his like during the flight home is when his eyes started to clear up a little bit. But fuck off. It's just another reason why they should not be doing all of this. Anyway. I'm not looking forward to WrestleMania. I think it's gonna be dumb. I don't think they.
Yeah, I don't. That'll be an interesting one to
Yeah, this is
see how
all.
that
This is all
pulls
about
off.
corporate greed at this point. Anyway, I'm glad.
Sports washing too.
I'm yes, that too. I am glad Cody lost because I think it works best storyline wise. I think Sammy was interesting, although I think Gunther would have been the better choice. But Sammy was interesting. It was bold, totally bold choice to go with Sammy. Um, and that's going to lead us into our other stuff. What did you overall? Overall, I actually thought Night of Champions was better than I was expecting.
I agree.
At the end
I
of the
agree.
day, I thought it was.
I thought this was like a B PLE,
Yeah.
maybe even B plus.
Mhm.
This did really well. I think the Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Sammy, as much as we know it's for the reasons it probably is, was still a good match. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker was a good match. The
Mhm.
Oba Jay was fine. It was
Yeah.
a decent match. I mean, I almost would have. It would have been bad if Jay did better, right?
Yeah.
Because Oba would have had to do worse, and
Yeah.
that just doesn't make sense for the storyline. The EO Live, I could care less. It was the worst of the night,
Yes,
probably.
absolutely was. Well,
The Tiffy Jay
I
wasn't great.
I would say
I actually
Trick.
thought the trick.
I didn't like the Trick Ricky thing. I was bored during it, so I was gonna say I might actually
I
prefer
was
the
bored
live.
during it, but that's because the storylines weren't there, right? I could care less about why they're fighting. And so the fight itself though wasn't bad. It was a decent fight. But it wasn't bad. The Tiffy Stratton Jade was fine. I was equally bored during that until Chelsea came out. And so, yeah, I think that's it. May or may not be another side effect of the Saudi Arabia thing, but the women's matches in these PLEs tend to be some of the lessers.
Mhm.
Though the Royal Rumble was still a good one if I remember. But yeah, I liked it. I thought overall it was good. No, it's like I said, B plus.
All right, all right. Then it leads us into SmackDown. I did appreciate when Oba. We're just going to hit some highlights from the 29th SmackDown. I liked when
Yep.
Oba went out there and was talking, and Brock comes out there. I, a kudos. I don't like Brock, but kudos to Brock to admitting on TV I can't cut a promo worth a damn, and that's why I had Paul Heyman. So kudos to you for acknowledging that.
You
That
said
takes a
that
lot.
wasn't SmackDown though. That was the
No,
following
sorry, that
Raw,
was Raw.
right?
That was Raw. Raw. And then he kicks Oba in the balls. I thought that was pretty good, setting up
And then
for
F5s him because,
yep,
of course,
yep. You got to F5 him, and then setting
you
up
got
for
F5
the
him.
rematch at SummerSlam, which we knew was coming in a Hell in a Cell. That I'm actually looking forward to.
I
I
am.
do like
I
that.
am. I like Hell in a Cell too for that.
Paul and Adam backstage. Oh, that was just setting up more of the stuff, which I thought was interesting. The Danhausen stuff is getting rather amusing. I appreciate this Danhausen stuff. I'm wondering if they're going to now use Danhausen as why the Judgment Day breaks up. If he's going to curse the Judgment Day and do like a new curse that's
Oh,
like,
maybe.
you guys, I curse you as a group, and as long as you are together as a group, you are cursed. The only way to break the curse is you can never be a group again.
Ooh, it's
Oh,
interesting.
I wonder if that's where they're going to go. Raquel versus Maxine was actually a pretty good match. I actually thought that was good. Raquel won, which I was happy for. I like Raquel. Um, Liv just doing her thing. LA Knight is starting to get some moments to shine, and I'm really appreciating the LA Knight stuff. I like what's
Speaking of
going
the
on.
Maxine Dupree loss, how do you feel about the Austin Theory, like, how dare you lose sort of vibe or whatever that was? Like,
Oh, in the
that
first
was
one,
weird. Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was weird. And at first, I was like, okay,
I
good.
didn't
They're
like it.
breaking. I was like, they're breaking this up. Okay, good. And then when she turns around and still goes for him, that's when I was like, ugh, why?
I
Why
also
did we
just
have to
don't.
do that?
It's not like they've really done a good job of setting up that story either. So it's this weird kind of like, were they, weren't they? I guess they are. Now he's mad at her. Like the mad at her came too early before
Yeah,
she. There was no proof that they were a thing, right?
yeah.
She was just googly eyeing him, and then he yelled at her, which I'm sorry, ladies, don't go for a guy who yells at you before you're even dating, or or before you're public with it. Like I don't know, it rubbed me wrong.
No, me too. I'm not a fan of what? Oh, I'm not a fan of that particular storyline that they're doing.
Mhm.
It's whatever. I think the outcome that has to happen now, and I guess it needs to happen next week on Raw. Well, actually, you're gonna need some build up. You're gonna need like 2 to 3 weeks. You need to have Alpha Academy try to talk to her and point out what's wrong. You need the friends, the lovable friends who are trying to be like, he's wrong for you. You need to break it up. We're going to prove that he's wrong for you. Then you need the next week, they go to him to prove it, and it goes horribly wrong for them, leading to a fight. And then you need the third week, Alpha Academy versus the Vision. And you need her to be there ringside torn for a minute, and then she chooses the bad relationship over her friends. That's where I think that you need to
True,
do.
a true
Just
Grease moment, that
yes,
way.
and to cement her as a heel
Mm.
at that point.
I think you have to almost get Chad Gable involved in it too.
Yeah, you could do the three. You could have you could have a three-way. But you could have that you need a third person in there, so you need like Logan
Well, because
and
he's already doing his apology tour with,
yeah.
and kind of stopped with her, and she kind of rejected it, and maybe they're better. I don't know, but like, you almost need him to side with the Alpha Academy
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, what are you doing over there?" Right? Like,
Yeah.
and then she can use that as kind of a, well, betrayed us first type thing,
Yeah.
right?
Excuse me.
I
Gable
think at that
versus
point we can get the whispers in the ear and stuff from like a Logan.
yeah. Gable versus JD. This is when we found out that the Judgment Day stole Danhausen's jersey, which is another reason why I'm like, what perfect revenge for him to just curse the Judgment Day as a team.
I mean,
Like,
everyone's kind of being cursed individually until eventually they're all just cursed.
I know, but I would be like, I'm gonna curse you as a whole. Like, you
Mm.
took my jersey, I'm cursing
Can
you
he
as
even
a
do that? I
whole.
don't know the Danhausen
I don't know. They make it up
rules.
as they go, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Why does every time
know.
he curse someone in the ring, fireworks shoot up and hit him in the balls? I don't know. They make it up as they go along.
It's the
Then
fun,
we
man. It's the
had
fun
then
of
we had
Danhausen.
I'm about to say a ramen, a Roman in ring promo. Seth comes out setting up the Shield stuff, which I know a lot of people would like some finality to the Shield storyline of Seth Rollins versus Roman. It's going to be at SummerSlam. Here's my problem with this.
Yeah.
That's why we're not going to get Oba versus Roman, and it should be. Maybe what they do is to get him in there, Roman be maybe have Oba be like, I demand my fight, and have Roman be like, yeah, yes, as a triple threat. Me versus Seth versus you. But if not, I mean,
I don't
I'm
think so because they're already
no,
advertising,
I know.
on the posters and stuff.
I'm a little bit of a mix on
I don't
whether
love
I
it.
want the Seth Roman, but maybe it can do something interesting.
I don't
I
love it.
think,
I'm with you. It's fine, but they really got to work on, like Roman's like exit or whatever walk off. I
yeah,
think kind of summed it up of like what was their former team name
the
that
Shield.
Seth and he's like this is the end of the Shield for sure.
Yeah,
This close the chapter on the Shield.
yeah,
I don't know what he said exactly, but like to me that's the storyline they're trying to play up at the same
yeah,
time as the Bloodline. They're trying to do the Shield wrap up.
yeah.
And just I don't know. I wasn't here for the Shield. Wasn't there a third or a fourth
Dean
even?
Ambrose, but Dean Ambrose
Oh,
is on
he's gone.
another company now. They would, I
So
think, the only way to really pay this off is during this fight, we need to introduce a new person coming into WWE. I think you need
I'd
to
be fine with that. Yeah.
maybe even have Dean
Or
Ambrose
that
come back. I don't know what
or
his
maybe it's
contract is.
the idea that like Seth restarts the Shield just without him now. Right, that Shield against the Bloodline, and that's how you get Bronson Reed back, right? Because Bronson Reed's coming back. He's like, the fucking vision's falling apart. I might
Yeah,
as well go over here. Seth had the right idea, but Seth, this time it's got to change.
yeah,
We're partners at this point, type
yeah.
thing.
I could live with that.
And Bronson Reed's looking like I wouldn't want to mess with him right now. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
no
always
joke.
obviously a big guy, but like he's fucking looking huge at the
Jacked.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's I want to talk about one little thing on two things on SmackDown real fast. The first one is the Laney Reed group. I don't remember their official title. I should. It's the fuck. What's their it's oh now I feel bad because I brought him up. Laney Reed, what's her name? The goth woman. JC Jane's group. I think JC Jane's group is
Jixie
doing
Jane.
good. So here's their what they look a toxic attraction. Toxic attraction.
Okay.
So Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane, they are starting to sweep their way through SmackDown and beating up all the women over there. I think that's a really interesting storyline that's
Interesting.
going
Okay.
on. I'm here for it. And then one of the things that happened on SmackDown that's going to tie directly into Raw is first off, Nick Aldis got suspended from the storyline right now. So Adam Pearce was the GM for SmackDown. Cody Rhodes went out there. They had
That was interesting.
a number one contender match, Jay versus Cody, and then Cody won. So it was going to be Sammy versus Cody on Raw. Adam was like, "It's going to be on Raw. You don't have a choice." Um, and so that was setting up for the next week, which I thought was
Hmm.
really smart to do, which then led us into the beginning of Raw. Sammy and Cody backstage talking, and then Gunther comes in, power bombs him through a table, then slams his head into a car door, and then we discover that he's concussed and that he's injured, and we need someone else. And then I like when Nick Aldis shows up. He's like, "I got someone for you." He's in the building, which I thought was great. Everyone knew it was CM Punk. There was no like, it was way too. There was way too many signs that it was going to be CM Punk coming in. By that point, the crowd was already wanting him. He was advertised on the poster for being there, so people kind of knew that
Oh,
Punk
I
was.
didn't know that.
I didn't know till after that he was advertised on there, but it was in Chicago and everyone was chanting. So I was like, and I'll be honest, I actually had it spoiled for me because of the way they did things,
Hmm.
which did annoy me that I found out. But it still made the match was still good. Um, but anyway, I like that Nick went out there. They're almost setting up Nick Aldis versus Adam Pearce because they are both
Right?
wrestlers.
I was like, are they
So
about to fight the two
I,
GMs here?
I would love
I
that.
feel like they might. I feel
Let's
like
do
they
a
might.
GM fight and then maybe switch up some GM stuff. Could be kind of fun. I would actually, you know what I would like to see happen? Let them let Nick and Adam fight. Let we find out that so they fight. We find out that Paul Heyman's kind of setting up this fight for them.
Okay.
The fight happens, and there's a stipulation that whoever loses is fired. And so as much as I love Nick, let Nick lose so Nick can come back. Because I would rather see Nick have a comeback later than Adam have a
Okay.
comeback. Have
Okay.
Adam switch over to SmackDown and then have Paul Heyman take over GM for Raw. And then so you can be like the Vision leads Raw.
Mm.
Then eventually you have it switch. Then you can eventually get it back to the way it was. But it'll give
Yeah.
something kind of interesting. Because I would love to see Paul
Okay.
Heyman fucking around with things. I think could be
Okay.
kind of fun.
I can get behind that. That
Yeah.
actually sounds kind of fun. Yeah.
So
All right. Done. Do it.
I would like
Make
to
it
see
happen.
that. Seth Rollins does a promo. LA Knight comes out there. I appreciated that. The Usos then get involved. I don't want to see LA Knight versus the Usos, but I like
But
seeing
you
more.
will.
I like seeing more LA Knight. So if that's what it takes to see more LA Knight,
And actually,
then
I kind of like this LA Knight and Solo thing they're kind of pushing. I'm curious to
it is
see where that
interesting.
goes. I'm like, okay, okay, like instead of just making the bloodline have to pull in every member
Yeah,
again, and Solo was essentially going to do a Fatu thing is what I
yeah,
was worried about. I like that they're like, no, okay, Solo has to like let's do something more with it.
yeah.
And I think that's yeah, I like that.
We get to fight one. Street Profits versus the Vision. A really good fight. I really love watching. It's not Dawkins. Who's the other one? Shit. Of the Street Profits because it's the two of them.
I don't know them well enough yet to name them at all. Actually,
Dawkins is the bigger one. It's the shorter one. I love his running across the ring and jumping over the turnbuckle. I think it is one of the most
yes, that is a
spectacular
great move.
fucking things I have ever seen. It's on top. It's like up there with Sol Ruka's like bouncing around in acrobatics. Like
Can you
it
just
is.
click on them on their tag
They're not the
match?
tag champions.
Oh, I thought they were.
No, they
Oh no, because they
lost.
lost it. That's right. You're right.
Um, and I'm for whatever reason I'm not seeing them listed here, which is
Mhm.
very confusing. Why they're no, that's Carmelo. Why are they not here? I'm scrolling
Oh,
through the website. I'm looking at all the wrestlers, folks. That's what I'm going through, trying to find his name because I like to give you names. Um, anyway, I love that move. I think it's great. This was actually a good match. It was actually kind of surprising. I was not expecting them to lose. Montez Ford. Montez Ford's jumping over that turnbuckle is a sight to behold. It is so good. The
yeah.
grace that he does, like it is like the closest I'm going to see to watching a man actually fly. Like it is so
Yeah.
good. I would love to see him go up against Javon Evans. Like just watching the two of them flying
Ooh.
through the ring for a bit would be
Yeah. Okay.
phenomenal.
I can dig
Um,
that.
but this was a good match. They end up losing. Everything goes wrong. There's lots of cheating. This is where Maxine comes in and interferes. We get Evil
Mhm.
Maxine, my note was, I like Evil Maxine. She's looking good. Or to quote a movie we're going to talk about later on another podcast, Milk Does a Body Good. Because that's a weird quote from a kid's movie. But I appreciate evil Maxine. I don't know where they're going to go with this. We already talked about that, but
Yeah.
this is where she becomes evil and comes out there and fucks around, and they lose the belt. I did not see the belt changing, so kudos for you. You set the tone for this Raw right off the bat. A lot of promos this time, some Penta shit, Gable coming out
Hmm.
to do things. Soul versus Raquel. Um, Roxy comes out, Liv comes out, Io rescues Soul, ends up getting the pen. Um, I kind of liked this Raquel Soul fight. I thought it was pretty good. I like
Yeah.
how towering Raquel is. While watching it, I was like, who do I
Truly.
like? Who do I like more? And I'm like, I think I like Raquel more because we've seen more of Raquel's personality than
Hmm.
Soul's. We're not seeing they're not doing a good job with promos with Soul at all.
No.
Um, I
Well, I would love to see Becky take her under her wing. I think Sol and Becky could make a good pairing somehow, and I
Mhm.
think Becky has. I think Sol could learn a lot from Becky's promo skills, whereas I
Yes.
don't know that she's going to pull the same learning from like a Tiffy or
I would say
an
either.
EO or even a Rhea. You
I was
know,
gonna say I think the two that I would like to see her under the belt, under the wing of, would be either Io, sorry, Rhea or Becky. I think
Mhm.
Becky's the stronger,
Yeah,
but if those would be the top two, I would say like these are the top
Rhea's
two
just
you
not
need
the
to.
right personality for her. I think it would. I could see her being taken on with like a Charlotte Flair and Alexa, potentially,
Yeah,
but I
I
don't
can
know
see
how
that
you
too.
pull that off until like a War Games.
Yeah, but anyway, the match was fine, but I think I like Raquel. I think this cemented that I like Raquel a little bit more in this.
Mhm.
But again, Raquel, we've gotten to see do goofy things like the Hot Ones challenge, and seeing her personality shine through
Yeah.
works more for me.
Agreed.
Paul in the
Agreed.
ring, Oba comes out to talk to Paul. I thought that was pretty good. I just I love Paul's oh shit face. It's always amusing. He talks
Which
shit and
it's
then the
also
music
funny
kicks
because
in.
like it's always an oh shit moment for him. Like you would
Yeah.
think he would have learned by now. That's the one like note to Paul. Like you're always shocked and surprised that this guy's coming to call you out. You're like, no, I'm gonna
Look,
poop my pants if you touch me.
he's the fall staff of WWE, okay?
Yeah, he is. He is. He is.
It works so well. Um, some more Sammy in rings. Cody can't fight. Crowds chanting CM Punk. They want him at. This is where we find out there's someone else. The Gable Dragon Ethan Rusev fight was fine, but I don't really care. What I did like though was Joe Hendry coming out. Joe Hendry being like badass, angry Joe Hendry. I'm down for. I'm
Yes,
really
more please.
enjoying that. Also, the song was very weird. I think that was last week. The Joe Hendry with the Street Profits song.
I don't know that the Joe Hendry concert, efficient. Like I don't need a Joe Hendry concert. Right?
Me
Like
either.
just make Joe Hendry fun. Like it's fine to have,
Go back to the name. I want to say his name and he appears. And
and I'm fine with him being kind of like, you've got a tavern boy essentially at this
yeah,
point with his guitar. Like let him lead the parties. I'm fine with
yeah,
that. And let him have a fun song, but don't make that who he is.
yeah. I agree. I agree.
And
They're still.
I worry that that's where they are at the moment. And I might find a new lane, Joe, because don't get pigeonholed into this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to piece
Mhm.
together what he is. But I'm liking the
I would agree.
angry Joe Hendry when he gets in
Yes,
there, and I'm enjoying
absolutely.
that. So good. Keep up the good work, Joe. Some Jimmy backstage shit. Oh, this is where Jimmy takes out. Jimmy and Fatu take out LA Knight as he's walking, setting up this
Mhm.
storyline that's going to be annoying, and I'm probably going to bitch about a
I'm not
lot.
annoyed by it yet. I'm here
Oh,
for it.
we didn't talk about last week. The last one I should have mentioned it, and I didn't. I glossed over it because I only wrote a thing. I'm kind of here for dark, evil, crazy Lyra. I'm kind of digging
Yes.
the look and
Yeah, we didn't
approach
talk
that
about
they're
that, did we?
going.
Yeah.
Not where I expected this storyline
I
to go, but I'm kind of here for it.
I'd like to I I think it's working. I think they tried it with
With Bailey for a bit.
Bailey, and I don't think she could pull it off. And they're like, well, what if
No.
we just flipped it? But what I think is different so far is that, and what I hope they lean into more is this being kind of driven by a Lyra ambition.
Yeah.
versus a Bailey mental break, right? I don't want
Yes.
this to be a mental break on Lara. I
No.
want her to, and it seems like they're doing this. I want her to know full well what she is doing
Yes.
and to still be doing it, right?
And let her keep. Hear me out. As much as I have
Mhm.
ragged on the whole bird aesthetic, and I have ragged on it so much.
You have.
Let her keep the bird
Not that I
aesthetic.
disagree with it, though.
Let her keep the bird aesthetic, but let her
Uh-huh.
become a raven. Let her either be like Raven inspired or Crow inspired. Let it be very
Well,
dark.
don't you already have Raven as a character somewhere?
Well, there was an old wrestler named Raven.
Yeah.
And Sting used a lot of ravens and crows in a lot of his stuff, but neither of them are with WWE. She has a bird aesthetic. If you're gonna let her go dark and emo, let her have that little bit of the aesthetic to it. I don't need the wings. I don't want the wings. I'll be very clear. I do not want the fucking wings.
He doesn't want the wings, folks.
But let her have a little bit of that the blackbird aesthetic to her to be like, I am emo and I'm all in on this bird shit. Here we go.
Let's go, baby.
And I would be down for it because then you can do some interesting things with makeup. If you go crow,
Hmm.
let it be inspired by Sting and the crow. Let her wear a little bit of like runny mascara and a little bit of paler makeup. Like let her embrace it. I think
Okay.
it can work for her in this moment. And it would set her apart from the other women. Like it would
Hmm.
truly set her apart. And I think a really creative way. I don't think how you ever get her. I don't know how you get her out of this storyline, and I don't know how you have her teaming up with
But
someone
here's the
else
thing.
later.
I don't know that you need to get her out of the storyline anytime soon either.
No, I'm
Like
not, and
that's
I'm
kind of
thinking
the
long.
benefit
I'm
of it,
thinking the
right?
long term. Like if eventually you're like, we want to pivot her back, short of a break,
That
but
that's
that's
a
a lot.
later
That's
days
further.
concern, you
Yes,
know? Yeah.
that's a Monday problem, to quote
Right.
our former coworker. That's a Monday problem. But I'm here for dark. I'm here for Dark Lyra. I think it could. I think it could
Yeah,
work.
I think this is a smart move. Um,
Yeah.
it wasn't whatever she was doing wasn't working, and it's not because of her. I do think she
Yeah.
has good moves. I could actually this gives her a chance to pair with Roxanne, which I've always thought would be a
Yes,
good
that would be a
pairing,
good pair.
right? As Roxanne's on her way out of not knowing, Roxanne feels like her storyline is like she's just kind of like losing the thread,
Yeah.
right? She's like, I just don't know if I believe the same things anymore, sort of idea,
Yeah.
right? Whereas Lyra, it is shaping up to be that sort of like, oh, follow me then. I've got you, go
Yeah.
come this way, sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, the end, I guess. I don't know
I'm
what else to say. It's looking good. It's looking real good.
again
Good,
though, based
good
on this
job.
image,
Good job. Yeah, so
again,
far.
based on this image, drop the bird wings. Just drop them, please.
Yeah, yeah. Find a new way to bird. I don't mind the
Unless
bird. Find a new way to
unless you're
bird.
gonna be a fallen angel and we're gonna have you wear like a back piece, how like Charlotte wore the butterfly wings, and you're gonna wear a back piece and the wings are down, not sticking out. Because that's how why wings always look weird on people. It's when they stick out. Let them just be draped behind you as almost like a cloak. Then I can kind of accept. Anyway, go all dark. I'm all in on this one. You got my attention. Bailey, you do not have my attention. I'm bored with your storyline. That was because that was the next thing was her video promo.
Hmm.
Judgment Day promo going after Danhausen again. But then we get Sammy versus CM Punk. I enjoyed this fight quite a bit. I really like this fight.
It was good.
I had some qualms with it. Now, I'm going to repeat a
Uh,
little bit of something that the Assemble podcast said. And I'm not trying to steal his thunder, but he worded it in a way that I couldn't word it when I first watched it as to what my promo was. So all
okay.
credit to the Assembled podcast.
Okay.
Check out their YouTube channel. He's phenomenal. But you had a big point of Adam Pierce, or sorry, of Nick Aldis going, I talked to someone, I called them up, I talked to them, they're in the building now.
Mhm.
When the match starts, CM Punk is outside the building.
About the same thing.
So you as the symbol said, as Matt on the symbol said, so you had CM Punk, you called up CM Punk, he came into the building, he agreed, he got dressed, went outside the building to come back into the building to fight. Summed it up perfectly on like what I think my flaw was or my problem was with this little bit. However, though, the match was great. They
It was a
put
good
on
match.
a fucking hell of a match. They're using each other's moves. like Sammy was
Sammy
all
did real well
in.
with the go to sleep.
Yeah, like everyone did so good.
That was great. I loved it.
Punk hulked up. That man is like fucking jacked as can be. Like
Hmm.
I know I saw like now Matt on the Simple podcast was like I would have rather him come out there and have like a contract and be like I'm coming over to SmackDown or whatever. I don't need that. I think him just getting the belt obviously is taking him to SmackDown because he's got to go to SmackDown. And there's lots of stories and reporting that NBC Universal was like we want Punk on SmackDown because he's your biggest star right now and he will draw
Ooh.
more viewership over to SmackDown. There've been rumors that he was moving over there anyway, and if he moves over there, now you can have a Cody Punk feud happening because Cody's already on SmackDown. Sucks for you. You won't get to see CM Punk. But I'm going to get to see CM Punk, and it's going to be an amazing storyline. I'm hoping they take him heel. I would like to see him go a little bit heelish. Either that or Cody's got to go heel. One of them has to go heel. You can't have two baby faces just constantly going after each other because it's just going to be annoying. So let one of them go heel. Punk, I think, would be the better heel, but you know what? I'm here if Cody wants to try. I'm here for it. If he wants to give it a shot, let Cody kind of break. Maybe let him be concussed from the car door and it turned him into the true American nightmare. He's like the 250's over. Welcome to the dark reign of America. I'm the American Reign. There we go. Cody, you can trademark that and have that for free. You're the American Reign. You're no longer the American Nightmare. You're the American Reign. So, anyway,
I agree.
CM Punk got it. Good fight all around. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I liked it. I was not surprised to see something like this with Sammy essentially immediately losing the belt.
Mhm.
Only kind of like I said earlier confirms my thoughts on what this all actually meant.
At least he kept it for one show. He kept it
Yeah,
for a SmackDown.
he kept it for us.
Technically, two shows: a Raw, a SmackDown, and then he loses it.
That's
So
true.
one
Okay,
week
so he kept it like a week.
he
Yeah.
got to keep it for 1 week.
Um,
Oddly
Overall,
enough,
the fight though was great. I mean, it was a nice return to see Punk return like that. Um, yeah, it was really good.
I don't
It
know if I
it
can.
wasn't like it probably was the best fight of that night. There's been some good Raws though, and so I've got to hand it to him.
I don't know if I can find the image. There was a really funny image of it's one of the refs. It's the older ref with the blonde hair. I can't remember his name.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
someone did the math and found that he has held up the belt in his hand more times in his career for a longer term, if you add up all the time, than Sami Zayn had for this belt run.
Oh man,
I know it made me laugh so
I have to
hard.
wonder. Like Sami Zayn is kind of like the Chelsea Green of the men's side,
A little
right?
bit,
In
yeah.
that, like, he's just not supposed to get the belt. And I would be interested to talk to Sammy at some point and be like, how do you feel about that? Right? Like, what does that mean for you? Right? Like when that
I
happens.
I have to hope that Sammy is like Chelsea and is like, well, you know what? Whatever you want. Like I'm here. It's just my job. Like you throw
Yeah, I
something in my
imagine.
face.
I
Like
imagine he is. Like honestly, I don't that's not what I meant to think that like he's just pissed or something like that. But like I also imagine that Chelsea Green, as much as she knows I'm here to do the job,
mhm.
there's a part of them still that's like, this is a cool moment. I'd love to hold on to this for a while and walk around on stage all big and shit, and
I think
kind of
all of
prove my
them have that
chops,
little
right?
bit. Yeah.
Because all of them are wrestlers still. It's not like they don't have that drive, I imagine.
Yeah. There's them at the Moana
Aw,
thing.
lovely.
Um the
Was any of them in it or just
no.
okay, just there?
Yeah, because of The Rock. Here's the official poster for Money in the Bank in New Orleans, September
Hmm.
10th. So they
Which
tickets went on sale today
I
and they
definitely
dropped this
expect
poster.
all of those people to be in it and on the thing, so that makes sense.
I hope so, or else it's going to be very
Trick,
awkward.
Trick was the only one who was like, eh. I mean, he's not quite the latter sort of look, but it makes sense. He's still a big name at the moment to be on
Um,
the poster.
During all this, Sheamus has been released from. Actually, well, was he released or quit? That TBD. Kind of a both. he didn't want to go for the new contract. He was officially gone. He tweeted out this morning. I will read the tweet. Banger after 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 broken heart, sad face. Um, and then farewell, WWE.
S. Farrell, Seamus Farrell.
Yeah.
I mean, we hadn't seen him in a while. I'm guessing that there were some negotiations, happening, which is
From what
part
I
of it.
from what I kind of saw and read, so he had been out on injury,
Mm.
and they were like, "Look, your contract's coming up, and we want to renegotiate. You need to take a pay cut like everyone else is taking." And he said no, and he stood his ground. So can't fault that, you know.
Yeah.
You got to
I mean,
do
it's
what
it's
you got to
hard.
do. You.
In fairness, it's hard to be told as any employee of anything. We thought you were worth this last year. We now think you're worth less.
Yeah.
Right? That is all that is essentially happening here. Is they're saying, hey, you have reached a point in your career where you were earning this because that's what you were worth.
Mhm.
We no longer agree with that, and we're going to pay you, in all likelihood, significantly less with
Yeah,
these
my
contracts.
understanding is a lot of these contracts are like a
Half
50%
of, yeah.
cut. Yeah.
And
Really
basically, they're
shitty on
probably
them.
saying it. They're probably, well, we'll let you have more opportunity for marketing and stuff like that. And for someone like Jay Uso, that's working well, right?
I have a
But
feeling they don't give them that as much. I don't think they get as much of a nice cut as they probably should of a lot of the merch and stuff.
you're probably right. You're probably right.
I
Sadly,
think they do get like the
I don't
more
think the
merch.
merch. I think advertising, like, so they can go be
Yeah.
like Jay is a spokesperson for like Cricket Mobile or whatever it is, right? And so he gets to go do that and makes bank,
Mhm.
or the whole Fanta or whatever those are commercials, like bang the foot oos, and like it pops up, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just get the feeling that that's kind of their answer for all of this. Is like, no, you have this opportunity now. Isn't that so great?
Yeah. How about you're charging us an arm and a leg to see your shows? How about pay your wrestlers better? Hey, wrestlers, here's one for you. You should
Agreed.
unionize and be part of SAG because you are actors.
Mhm.
So you
I would
should
agree.
listen to Kevin Nash and unionize, which I've said for years that you guys should unionize.
Something tells me this is going to make them, like, the way that they're being treated right now. I don't
I
see
hope
this
so.
being sustainable. So I could totally see within the next couple of years, by 2030, that they become unionized.
Yeah. All in all, I like this episode of Raw. This was a really good one. It worked for me very well. And my soap opera made me happy. So
He's a fan, folks.
that's all I can ask for is my soap opera make me happy.
Mhm.
And I found myself watching more of it than not. Like instead of just having it on in the background, I was actually paying attention to a lot more. So that's
Yeah,
one
I'm
thing that
agree.
always makes me happy. Now let's jump over to some horror, shall we? Horror, horror, horror,
Horror.
horror,
I would call it was a
horror,
horror film.
horror. Um, I saw a horror movie last night. I'm not going to talk
Oh,
about
which
it
one
right now.
did you go see?
I'm not talking about it. We'll talk
Evil
about
Dead
it
Burn?
on. We're going to talk about it a little bit on the other podcast.
Why? Why do we have to wait? This is our horror stuff, and I never have to watch that movie. So that's two things right
We
there.
should see about that a little bit. I think
I
should.
don't want to ever watch
I
that movie.
think. I think we should. I think. I think
Those
we.
look so scary.
So here's what I want. Here's what I'll say on it, the tiny little bit, and you can get my full thoughts over and off of
Is it
it.
as
If you.
scary as it looks?
Um. No. 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 There weren't that many jump scares in it. There
Yeah,
weren't
but
that
is it
many.
like? I mean, is it just anxious, scary at all times?
No, it's gross more than anything.
Mm. Oh, I don't want to see that then.
I will say this little bit. There were three people who walked out during the movie.
Holy
Uh,
shit!
so that was fun. But one of the things that I really love is when a movie, particularly a horror movie, says something. When it's got a clear message it's trying to say.
Sure.
I really love that a lot. And I think the newer Evil Dead movies, starting with the Evil Dead remake, or debatable if it's a remake or reboot or whatever the fuck it is, the one with Jane Levy in it, the 2013 Evil Dead. Starting with that, they made Evil Dead say something. So that one was about addiction. This Evil Dead Rise was about motherhood. This one is about spousal abuse and a family that overlooks it and like brushes it under a rug.
Interesting.
I really like when movies do things like that. And because of that reason, and because we've already seen two of the Evil Deads, I would propose that it could be worthwhile to go through those, finish the run um, with those because they're now making clear statements. And
But
I
but
and I
but they're so
enjoyed
far removed from those originals, right?
not necessarily.
Well, we never even watched the first one, so I feel like
We would go back and
we
watch
have
if
to
we
go
were going to
back and
do it,
watch
we
the
would
first
watch the
one
first
before
one.
we can think that.
Yeah. But I'm leaning more towards it because this one stuck with that approach, like the really good strong I've got a message to say
Uh-huh.
on it. The lead was really good, and one thing that they're doing with since the 2013, honestly, you could almost say it was since Army of Darkness, because Army of Darkness tonally feels different than Evil Dead, and I think it's because Army of Darkness really embraced camp and comedy more
Yeah.
so than Evil Dead 2, 1 and 2 did. Um, Going from there, each one has embraced something different in a very creative way. Yeah, that some of them might get more brutal, but they feel different. Like it's really interesting. These different. It's been different directors each time. You feel a stamp on it. It feels like the same world, but you're feeling. It's like the MCU. Captain America feels one way, but Winter Soldier still feels like a Marvel movie. But man, tonally, is it different? Like you see that
Yeah.
direct. You see the Russos stepping up into the espionage, and then Thor Ragnarok. Tonally, like it feels different. Like
Yeah, that's a good example.
I like how they're doing that with the Evil Deads. Um, and so I would like to make a proposal that at some point we consider doing those over here because I actually was pretty shocked at how well it worked out and how it fit. Anyway, you'll hear more of my thoughts on
Mm.
it on Off the Reels. But I'm not gonna lie, it's a brutal movie, but all of the Evil Deads are brutal. But there's something comedic at a point where some of the brutality becomes comedic, and it's over the topness. Even with Art the Clown, there were some moments where you're like,
Yeah,
it's so over the top. You're like, it's kind of funny.
like
Um,
it's so over the top. It's beyond unbelievable. It's near impossible, right?
yes,
And because it's near impossible, you start going, "Oh, that's so ridiculous." It's funny, right?
hmm
It's you start laughing at you. You, I'd like to think at least that you start seeing them doing the bit, right? You start
yes,
recognizing that this is the filmmakers or the writers or whoever,
yes,
all being like, "We know." Right. I think there's a moment in Kill Bill. I think the
yeah,
first one, and Tarantino's talked about this, which is the whole movie plays, and it's very clean. It's very God mode in terms of its viewpoint, right? Just kind of watching the story unfold. It's there's no, it's not from anyone's perspective, so to
hmm
speak. Obviously the bride story,
yeah,
um, but then it in the fight scene with I forget all the names, but the Crazy 88,
yeah.
it just gets
So
so
over the top.
gory and
Yeah,
so bloody that at one point blood splatters on the camera.
yeah,
And I remember him saying, "I want to leave that in, right? I want to recognize that this has gone ridiculous
yeah,
and break the fourth wall with blood a little
yeah.
bit, right?" And I think that that's what you get,
And that's one
what
of the things that
you seem to
this
be talking about.
yeah, and that's one of the things with this movie, and one thing that I appreciate, and I think it serves it well as the story unfolds and you discover what's happening here on the
Mhm.
regular normal side, not the demonic side, but when you discover like the family and this abuse that had happened and what's going on, um, at some point in time you start to flip in your head. You're like, if I can get rid of this family, like these people, like what they did, they deserve some of what they're getting, and so you get that little
But this
bit
is something
of
that
it.
we learn over the course of the movie. It's not quite like Ready or Not, where all
No,
of a sudden
no,
the switch flips and you're like, "Oh, fuck this family."
yeah,
You
but
know?
it's almost a little that same thing. Once how in Ready or Not, once things start happening, you're like, oh no, I'm ready for this guy to get killed. Like
Okay.
Donnie, I'm ready for Donnie to die. And
Yeah.
when it happens, you're like, yes. Or when you're at the end and the family starts exploding and you're like, good, it
Uh,
serves you right what happened to you.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
gets a
Okay.
little of that comedic. Anyway, um, if you like Evil Dead, it's a good movie. It's a very divisive movie right now, though. Oddly enough, it's very
Really?
yeah. Um,
Why? What's so divisive?
it is. It's more like the gore, the factor. There's a good chart. Let's see if I can find if the chart pulls up real fast on
Of like how gory it is.
they like do all of the Evil Deads. Um, I saw it a second ago. I don't know if I can pull it up again. There was like it's like one of those like Venn diagrammy type charts, and it's like here's the first one. Here's on this side is comedic, and on this side is like gore,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
and
Or
then
like
this
the
one's like on
quadrants.
yeah, and this one's like far, far, far on the gore side.
Mhm.
Um, not that that's a bad thing. I think
I
it's
I don't know what's happened, but I feel like we've gotten to a place where blood has become like the level and the amount of blood has become a scare tactic, and not just in terms of like lots of bloody corpses or things like that, like a
um
slasher film. I mean in the way that like it, or it part two,
yeah.
or with you, or
Here it is.
the substance, where you just have these gushes of blood in a ridiculous sense.
But I think that's partially because of Evil Dead, because Evil Dead from the get remember in Evil Dead 2 when Ash like shoots the wall and like the blood just like comedically splashes him. Even when you go see the show Evil Dead the musical, there is a splatter zone where you are going to get wet. And I think
But look
that's
at
part of anyway.
But look
Yes.
at this trend here of
Yeah.
like this thing. You found the chart, and
Yeah.
it's not a quadrant chart. It is
Yeah,
just
sorry.
a back
Yeah.
and forth from either most being oh shit in terms of gory or
Yeah.
horror as it calls it,
Yeah.
to LOL in terms of
Yeah.
funniness. And so I want to point out that the original run
Yeah.
all started going more and more and more towards funny. This new run is going all more and more and more towards horror.
Yes, but they're still keeping the funny, which is the one nice thing. The Deadites are still funny, but they're getting more to the oh shit, I can't believe you
Yeah, I can't tell if
just
that means Evil Dead Rise, they're saying, is a little more funny than Evil Dead 1
yes, that
or of the
no,
remakes.
that's the remake. This is the 2013 remake.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yes,
It-
Rise
the
is a little bit more funny than I would confirm that.
the
Yes.
remake. Okay.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Because it's the Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, then Evil Dead
Evil Dead
Rise,
Rise,
Evil
Evil
Dead
Dead
Burn.
Burn, and then the new one is Evil Dead
Evil Dead
Rebuke.
Burn is the new one.
No, no, no. There's one coming out next year.
No.
Um, there's another one next year. Evil Dead 2027.
Evil Dead Drown.
Evil Dead Wrath. Evil Dead Wrath is the next
Okay.
one. And it's
Okay.
already filmed. They filmed it, it's done. It's in the
Oh,
can, it's ready to go.
well, good for them.
Yeah. And it was like a surprise thing that we all learned. And it's gonna be, I was listening to a podcast about this. It will actually be further back in the timeline than any other Evil Dead movie.
So this is kind of like an X sort of thing,
Kind of, yeah.
where they release one like, by the way, we got this next one ready for you.
Yep.
Coming soon next week, next year.
Yep. Anyway, I'm excited for it. Anyway, I think it would be one to examine and to think about doing as part of our run. I think you can handle it. You've
Would
sat
we
through the term.
rewatch Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness as part of the run?
It's a good question. We'd have to think about that. I actually
Or,
wouldn't be opposed to it just because we could then get more of the lore and be like, okay, this tied into this
yeah.
tied into that. I wouldn't be opposed to that. They're also short movies, so I appreciate the shortness of the Evil Dead movies. Anyway, just wanted to say that I did go see that last night, and
And
I
ended
love.
up talking about it way more than you wanted to.
I did. You did make
'Cause
me
I
talk about
forced it out of
it.
you.
You did a little bit, yes. But I'll talk more. I will to give more thoughts on it on the other podcast. So, all right, let's get into. I still know what you did last summer, Eric. What do you think it cost to make? I still know what you did last summer.
The last one was 17. I'm gonna say 20 million.
20 million. Man, that would have been smarter. You're gonna win just because you're under, but 65.
Holy fudge!
I,
They
I
went up that
assumed
much?
I assumed because they actually flew to a fucking island.
I mean,
That's
there
gotta
is
be
that,
my
I guess.
assumption.
There is that. That is probably a good chunk of the
They're like,
money.
we could do a set, or we
Or
could go. Plus, we have to pay for brandy. Like,
got to pay for brandy at the time.
but 65. Now, what do you think this movie made? And that's so marginal. There is no global versus US. We're only talking like a couple thousand difference.
I'm gonna say 85 million.
Can I give you a small little? You already locked it in. I'm not going to give you that chance. There's a reason. It took a very long time for an actual sequel. If you don't count the direct to DVD sequel, 40 million.
Brutal.
Yes, yes.
Interesting. Okay.
There's a reason why the next one went straight to DVD. There is, and just because I want to know now, so it was always.
I will always know.
Was
Yeah.
it? I always.
I will always know what you did.
I'll always know what you did last summer. Just so we can just get the idea of what we're talking budget wise when it went over there. Its budget became free because it doesn't even list their budget.
Yeah, just go make it, whatever.
Yeah. Anywho, what did you had seen this one before? Was this one you hadn't seen?
Yes, I had seen it before. This came out when, 98?
98, 1 year later.
Yeah.
They rushed
So I
this
mean,
shit.
I forget when and where I saw this, but yeah, I saw this somehow. And I remember not
Oh, he was Dave? No way.
who.
How did I not recognize him? He was the friend who gets killed in the truck. How did I not realize John Hawkes was Dave?
Oh no.
I mean,
I don't remember this now.
I love Sean Hawkes from Deadwood. I fell in love with him as an actor in Deadwood. He was so good in it.
Oh, it was a very blink and you miss it sort of cut,
I
like
don't
it
know.
did not focus on the friend at all. It was more about Freddie Prinze,
Yeah, I'm just
the whole
still like
scene.
in shock
Because
that I didn't.
I'm now having to remember, like, what were you even talking about? I'm like, oh, when it's giving Freddie
Here he
Prinze
is right
the
there
quote.
because he's so young. I'm so used to him
Yeah.
older.
I
Man.
definitely remember seeing this, but I don't remember why or when. It may not have been until like later on in high school.
Mhm.
No, I feel like this is just weird because 98 would have been me going into high school. So yeah, I couldn't tell you who I saw this with, but I remember seeing it. And I definitely saw it like high school or younger. And probably did not really see it again until just now. But I remember not liking it at the time. And and also I remember at the time feeling like, why are they making a sequel to I Still Like it sounded stupid, right? It even like it sounded like I still know what you did last summer. But now I remember all the things came out, which I'll say again here, which is like we're now 2, 3 years past. And so it's not last summer, right? That anymore. It felt forced. I think you'd
Well,
already had
it's
Scream
2 years.
3 or 2 at this point.
It's 2 years after the murder
Mhm.
because it's 1 year after the first movie. Only a
Right.
year has
Okay.
passed.
Okay.
But so by saying I'll always know what you
But
did last summer means like okay, you're always gonna know that their friends were brutalized and murdered and and they
the problem is
killed
always going to be the
Ben.
last summer too, really, right? Last summer changes every year, right? This year's
Yeah.
last summer was, it's 2025. Last year I would have said it was 2024, right? And so, but at the same time, I still know what you did last summer is a better name, and I think it's also lifted from the end of the first one, which was written on the fog in the glass, if you remember. Um, but it's a better name than like I know what you did 2 summers ago, and trying to like turn that I know what you did 3 summers ago.
I mean,
The
I
franchising that I know what you did back in high school. I know what you did when you were a kid.
I would have made a joke out of it. I would have, if I wrote this movie, once you're like, I still know what you did last summer, I would have had like Tyrell or even Jack Black's character be like, damn, what'd you do last summer? Was it double-headed? Like, I would have made like a really weird sex joke
Oh
out of
my.
it. Just because You make a point. Like, I still know what you did last summer. Okay, good. You still know because you read in the news that
Hmm.
Julie was terrorized and her friends were killed. So
Right,
that's what you know that she did last summer because you don't know what she did 2 summers ago.
right.
So
But
you
why do
make
you
develop.
still know that? When did you ever have to explain that you knew that? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it it falls apart immediately in the title, and I think that's why partly it failed in its ability to gain traction,
Hmm.
right? I think if you had just gone, I know what you did,
Yeah.
I still know what you did, right?
Or
I think it would have been
or
fine.
even to use the third title, I'll always know what you did. But you need to drop the last summer. But to be like, I'll always know what you
But
did
the
would have just
yeah, but I
been,
mean,
or
but
I
that's why I
still know
saying
what you did.
right. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I know what you did. I still know what you did. I'll always know what you did. I know it. I know what you did back then. Like you could break it out so much easier back then into that way, and still keep that sort of tall tale, sort of folklore vibe behind it.
Did you know there was a
I think,
TV show?
yeah,
I just learned this.
yeah.
All right.
Wow, you put this together, and here we are.
I didn't know there was it was on Amazon, so I didn't
Mhm.
like I don't always focus on their shows.
Are
Anyway.
you not watching the glory that is Amazon Prime?
No, no, I'm not.
I have to. Well, you should.
Uh,
They have such great content.
all right. Mark. Um, anywho,
I
I
actually
like
really
the
do like Amazon Prime. They really do good stuff.
they actually do some good shows. I think
Love the Lord of the Rings.
their shows get lost in the shuffle though,
It's
unfortunately. I
true.
think
They
that's
don't. The problem is because everyone's a streamer.
and everyone binges, does the binge
Right.
model, everything gets lost.
It's hard to keep up with Prime when you're
Yeah.
already. They were never a major player in the first place.
Yeah.
It would be smarter for them. Maybe not smarter for them. I'm not going to go ahead and give Amazon business advice there, but I would love to see them partner up in a way to make them more accessible because I do think that more people should. Like I said, I think they're making good content over at Amazon Studios and through that division.
I think they should do because everything on Amazon is it's not week to week except for The Boys, right? That was the only one they were doing weekly. I think
I don't know.
everything
I actually, The
the
Boys was one of the ones I never watched.
The Boys is weekly. I don't know if the rest of them are weekly. Apple was weekly from the get-go. Disney has gone weekly. I think the
Mhm.
weekly model works better than the binge model. It's proven when you binge a show, you have trouble remembering it and recalling it.
Yeah.
When you have the week over week, it's far easier to remember. I can tell you a lot of details with Cape Fear as I've been watching it weekly. I cannot tell you as many details about Star Trek Academy that I binged. I think the week model
Mhm.
works better. So that was
I
some
think
loud
binge
thunder.
was a novelty at first,
Yeah.
but the reason binge worked was because it allowed you to go back and binge what
Yeah.
you had already seen on a weekly basis to you had that suspense build up for the weekly. You
Yeah.
didn't have that when you binged, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
think
some people binge, some people don't, but I
yeah.
don't think it needs to release as a binge.
Yes. That's what I think so too. I think you should release weekly and if someone wants to wait and binge it, that's on them and they can do it. But if
Yeah.
you do weekly, you get water cooler moments.
Hmm.
My wife is watching Little House on the Prairie because that dropped
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
that's new. Yeah, I saw
And
that pop up.
she's watching it and she's like, I like it. Oh, she saw the original and she's read the first book.
Is that Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix, and she's like, I already know where this is going to end. I was like, well, maybe they'll change
Mm.
it up. You never know. And she goes, well, I really hope we get a season two, but I don't know if they're going to do it. And I said, this weekend will tell you if they're going to, because Netflix's model is you go through the weekend. When it's a big show, it drops right before a weekend. They see how many people binge it on that weekend, and if it doesn't hit certain numbers, they cancel the show. And
Mhm.
this weekend is the tell. Like, will people want to watch Little House on the Prairie,
Mhm.
or will they want to watch something else? Anyway, I like the cast of this movie. John Hawkes, which I didn't realize was in it, makes me like this movie a tiny bit more. Um, I love Jennifer Esposito. I think she's
Okay.
so great. She was Nancy the barkeep. I knew her from Spin City. I really like her a lot. I wish she would have survived. She was one of my favorite
Yeah,
characters. I was
she was
really annoyed when
too
she died.
shortly lived. Yeah.
Jeffrey Combs is a horror icon. I refer to him as Wei Yung from Star Trek Deep Space Nine because that's where I know him from. But he was, you saw him when we did House on Haunted Hill. He was the ghost doctor, Doctor. whatever his name was, in the asylum. He was also famously the reanimator in that movie, The Reanimator. Um, People loved him from that. He got his probably his stardom from that. It's probably one of his best known roles outside of Star Trek. He's in The Frighteners. He is all over horror. He is a working actor. So it was very nice to see Jeffrey Combs in this. He does a
Yes.
lot of voice work.
Jack Black.
Jack Black was one that shocked me when I first watched this movie like a
I,
year ago.
I remember watching it and being like, "Who the fuck is this?" when I first saw it, and then now it's almost like a famous role of his because it's
Yeah.
so random, of his.
But
But like watching it, I'm like, oh, that's fucking Jack Black.
yeah.
No
But
fucking doubt.
but look at this. Look right here. I am IMDb, just their initial page. He is not listed. I actually have to dig into the cast
Yeah,
to be able to see Jack Black
and I would say he was
and
bigger than some of
Jack
those
Black
roles.
is uncredited. He's not even credited in this movie.
Really?
Hmm.
That's interesting because he would have been working actor. I would have wondered why in that role he would be
So
uncredited.
this was 98. What had he done?
I mean, he was
Welcome
like
to
doing
the number
Tenacious
one
D.
Jack
He
Black podcast. Um,
he
98.
wasn't.
This is pre
He
Tenacious
took
D.
off more in 2000, but that's what I mean. He was a working actor. Like he had done some random stuff,
So
this
his
being
first
essentially
thing
one of them.
was an Atari commercial in 82, the
All right.
Bald Guy TV series for an episode, the new Leave It to Beaver for an episode. What's his first movie? Bob Roberts, whatever that is, would be his first movie. And then his next real movie is
He was
Mark
in
for, oh, that's a
Demolition
TV
Man.
movie. Yes, I knew he was in Demolition Man. He's like an extra. I knew that one.
Neverending
Um,
Story 3.
I knew he was in that. Good luck finding that shit. I do have a copy though. I tracked down the DVD.
Waterworld, baby. Look at that.
Oh, I forgot he's in Waterworld. I knew he was in X Files. That's actually a really good episode of X Files. But then Biodome, because that's where Tenacious
Oh
D
yeah.
gets their first appearance. Um,
Oh, I
and they're
don't
they're
know
and
that
they're
I
in the
knew that.
they're in the background. They're like it's when like Polly Shore's character is at like a festival at a college, and there's a band performing in
Oh,
the background, and it's Tenacious D.
oh, I didn't know
I
that.
don't
That's
even think
cool.
you get to
It's
hear
been
their
forever
music.
since I've seen Biodome. I did see it
But
though.
Cable Guy was the first. I would say that's the moment where I knew who he was because I like
Mhm.
Cable Guy a lot. And
Yeah,
then
that's
he's
a
in
good one.
Mars Attacks, and then he's like all over the place after that. Um,
I think Tenacious D blew up right around 99, 2000.
yeah, 97 is when their TV show was.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like they really took hold. Their first album came out around 2000.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because here's the Fucker Gently music video is 2001.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Anyway, the number one Jack Black podcast. I like this cast.
Yeah. He's my
I
spirit
like
animal.
Mekhi Phifer, I think is really good as Ty. Bill Cobbs is really good and a good red herring as Estes. Um, Brandy is kind of forgettable. I'm sorry, Brandy, but you're kind of forgettable in this.
She is, but you know what? She is also really good at it still. Like she does a good job of the both.
Yes, I will say that she is a good roommate for it, but
Like she for as many singers that turn actors, she's good. She's a good one.
yeah. Matthew Settle playing Will was pretty good. Does he did anything else? Oh, he's in Band of Brothers. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't recognize him from Band of Brothers. Anyway, Will was pretty good. Will catches you off guard. Like you kind of piece together. When did you figure out Will was in on it?
It's about an hour and a half. I'd say about an hour in. There's a moment where he's like, I'm gonna like he keeps trying to get away from him. I'm gonna go check
Yeah,
on this guy. What are you doing? I'm gonna go check on this guy. There's also, I think, the first moment that it really kind of was like, oh yeah, maybe this is him, was when the voodoo guy is
hits him
looking
with
at him
the
out the window.
yeah.
Out the window,
Oh, out the
right?
window. Yeah, they do a good job with the will of it all.
It's a common trope, especially at that point with all the two screams, I think it would have been at this
Mhm.
point. Maybe three.
Yeah,
But yeah. And that's probably part of what hurt this was that the first one tried to be a slasher film, but I think came up just a little short
yeah,
because it was too focused on the main four, which is fine.
right.
There were two different movies they were trying to make. Neither of them came out well
Yeah.
because they were competing in the movie. This one to me is actually, I'm gonna take it. This is a better movie than the first one.
That is a hot take. I think
I
I'm gonna be curious
because
to know your
it's
take
better
on three.
it's a better slasher.
All right. I'm curious to see your take on 3 when you get to 3.
This is a
Well,
slasher film,
4,
though.
sorry,
I think it
4,
actually,
4.
I think it gets the job done in a way that the first one
It is more
didn't.
slashery because they start murdering non-friends.
Right. And and it
I gotta say, the
the slasher character is now
doc
just a
guy should,
slasher.
yeah, doc guy also should not have died. Doc guy didn't
No.
deserve to die.
There's too many people. That's the thing. That's the other issue that about these I know what you did last summer is that the whole premise is them getting revenge
Yeah,
for these people doing this thing that wasn't actually resulted in death.
yeah,
Like I mean, it wasn't right to do, but the whole premise is because you hit me with your car, left me for dead, and I didn't die, I'm now going to hunt you down and kill you all. And randomly, I'm just going to kill some other people with it, right? Which works as a one and twosie maybe, but
mhm,
like you've got to get away from that. At a certain point, you have to make it like Scream, which is random people want to take up this killer's moniker. And I think they had a really good killer here because the costume is easily replicatable,
yeah,
right? And so you really had the potential to do that. The problem is they kept focusing on the Jennifer Love Hewitt storyline with Freddie Prinze Jr. especially. I actually thought Freddie Prinze Jr. did a better job in this one than the first one.
I agree.
But ultimately, it just this one was a better slasher, but it still wasn't. It took itself too seriously, and that's where Scream was good about kind of calling itself out, like, "Hey, we're doing this now, and we're going to call, with the whole, and it's still part of the Scream trope, right? Which is, all right, we're in a scary movie, right? And so here's the rules, right, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, they needed something like that for this, and it never worked out, right? All they had was Jennifer Love Hewitt screaming in the middle of a street or the rain and telling him to come
Yes.
at me. And I'm sorry, Jennifer Love Hewitt, you've done better work than that in both cases, both movies.
Yes, you have.
I'm actually excited to see her come back in the new one when I think that she, as an actress, came into it with probably a lot more agency to choose how her character is portrayed and handled. And I look forward to seeing that. Hopefully, it's a better character as a result.
I look forward to you watching the third one and getting your takes on the third one. Which one of the reasons I was excited we were going to do this run was so that you can get your take on it.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of this. How many people? Well, first off, this movie proves John Oliver's theory that Americans don't know anything about any other country except for our own country. Because if
Real.
anyone knew about Brazil, it was like, because there's some nerd who was watching this movie that when they win for that, he's like, no, bullshit, done with this movie, done.
Yeah, the very first moment, right? Essentially,
Yeah.
the jig's up,
But
right?
only if you
To
know
some extent.
geography. Only if you know geography. If you don't know geography, you're just like, all right, it's plausible.
And when you're
And
making
then you
this for
move
an
on.
American audience, that becomes a plot reveal versus a duh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like today, I'd like to think if this were made, the that moment would have been handled like, "Are you fucking kidding me? No, this is of course not Rio."
Be
Like,
honest. Did you know? Did you know? Honest. Be
I
honest.
okay, yes, I knew it wasn't Rio, but I couldn't have told you that it was Brasilia. I thought in my head Sao Paulo.
So when I first watched this movie a year ago, I had no idea. I totally bought in on it because it's a fast thing. It just
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, and I mean
And
that's the benefit of what they're trying to do with it
and
too, for sure.
Bill, our Estes should have made a deal of it when they go, we got it because of Rio, baby. He's like, okay, cool. He should have had like huh? All
Yeah,
right, look, and he
there should have been some
doesn't.
telegraphing, right? A little bit. Like
So
the
this
audience should have at
watch,
least been clued in through that.
yeah, this watch I remembered, but I couldn't remember what the capital was. But I remembered that they got it wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am man enough and honest enough to be like, yeah, I fucking bought in on it. I didn't know. I don't fucking know world geography.
Like I said, I knew that it wasn't Rio, but I did not know who it was. So I
Yeah,
would have guessed Sao Paulo and
yeah,
still been
kind of wrong.
tricked into going to the island.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest. Like any way you answer that phone call,
Yeah.
right? You win the thing. So
Yeah.
had you gotten it right, you would have not known otherwise.
Yeah.
Had you gotten it wrong, you would have not known otherwise,
Exactly.
right? So the I will give credit to the killer for that.
Yeah.
Now, where I think to what we were talking about, where that falls apart is anyone else that these excited people tell that they got a cruise by winning this one trivia question on a radio station, anyone in between that dorm
Well,
room or wherever,
but I don't think they had a chance because I think it was only like
and
a
the islands.
24-hour turnaround to catch the flight.
Yeah, but that I'm what I'm saying is in 24 hours, and I know that cell phones were a thing, so you're not texting
Yeah.
your buddies, you're maybe not even texting home real quick. But on the way, like so many people
Maybe
have to
though.
listen to her story and not know.
Maybe. But again, it goes back to my theory and John Oliver's theory. Like, Americans just don't know.
That is,
You expect
I'm not
20-year-olds in
disagreeing.
college,
I'm not
they would be
disagreeing.
like, cool, I didn't know that Rio was the capital.
But
I would have thought it was Sao Paulo.
But
Like,
what I'm saying is they would tell everyone what they're doing because they would be so excited, right? And
yeah.
so they're telling the people in the cab, they're telling the people at the airport.
The airport would be
people
where
should have been
know
where like, oh my God, are you here? Yes, here's my tickets. I'm so excited. We're going to Brazil, you know,
we're going to the island,
the
and
island
because
or
of
whatever,
Brazil.
yeah, Jamaica or wherever. Like honestly, today they probably would do better if you said, where in Jamaica is the capital?
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I mean, and like you know, I feel myself a little worldly right now with the World Cup,
Eric,
but then I get reminded hard that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but Eric, here's what I feel would also could have been acceptable. Call up, hi, I'm on Magic 10349. Eric, you can win an all expense paid trip to the Caribbean if you can tell me what is the capital of the state of Washington in the next 5 seconds.
Oh, damn it, it's not
Time's
Seattle.
up.
Yeah.
So, like, see, like, I think that we don't even know. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's believable. This is believable, but like I was saying, there's
what is it, Olympia?
Fuck if I know. You could have
no,
said.
You gotta look it
up. You could have said Redwood, and I would be like, yes, you got it right. But that was my point. There was some nerd who was probably watched this and was like, I was
right, Olympia.
Like Dr. John, this was the type of thing that Dr. John would have been like, no, this is dumb. They got that wrong.
Yeah,
Dumb movie.
I would actually be curious to see if he would catch it because if he were part of this conversation, is like, of course I'd catch it. But like, would he be like, it's Sao Paulo?
Yeah. We're gonna find out when we record the next episode of Off the Reels. Let's see if he figures it out.
Hint, hint, hint. I'll have to remember this. I'm gonna try to play him up. I'm like, I want to say it's Sao Paulo. Here's the thing. In order to like beat him, I need him to lock in first. Otherwise, I can't.
Well, I need to find a way to tie it into Rookie of the Year.
Well, if I talk about Brasilia, right, he's gonna remember. So I need him to say one thing first.
Yeah, but I need to find a way to link it into Rookie of the Year.
Oh, World Sports! So it's sports time.
So it's part of the Abacus Awards. That's why I need. Then it's illogical, and it doesn't.
I'm watching a documentary that I'll finish when we get off this call about. It's called USA '94. It's about Brazil's comeback in the World Cup. Then just came out. They already got, and they actually. It was a huge upset to see them get eliminated just this past week.
All right,
there's a lot of World Cup stuff.
Do they have a? They do have a baseball team.
Of course they do.
So they have a major.
A lot of Latin America does.
So there we go.
South America and Latin America.
All right. Other things that I enjoyed about this little bit, I think Will smiles when he lets Julie in on it. I think he does a really creative, like, smile, break the smile, break the smile. I think it worked really well. I liked how he flipped the characters when he's doing the radio thing. I think that worked really well. I enjoyed the angsty of, I shouldn't go. No, go. Drive down. You just drive down to New York. It's not that hard. Just drive down there. You're going to go. I thought that played well. It seemed very realistic to me.
Agreed.
The hotel thing in the off season was a little bit Weird. Why is the hotel open during storm season? Whatever.
Mhm.
I can move past that a little bit. It's a
I mean,
movie.
they're open. They're just
Yeah.
better prepared. I
Selling the
imagine.
selling the ring for
It was the
300.
90s, so maybe it's different.
The fact that the pawn shop's like, you got a full carrot here. I can give you $250. It's like, what? $250? It's a full carrot.
That's
You
it.
probably should get a little bit more than that. So his question, his like, I want 300 and a gun didn't seem as outrageous to me because I'm pretty sure you were going to sell that ring for 1,000.
Yeah.
Even if you say the gun is worth 300, then okay, cool. You're out 600. You're going to make 400.
hmm
Like at the end of the day. But
It's
whatever.
the little things, folks. It's the
It
little
is
things that get to Casey.
it is the little things. All in all, I think there's some oh, justice for Nancy. I don't like that they killed Nancy. I'm sorry. I like Nancy. I also like that everyone's a singer. That was actually a really good thing when they're doing karaoke because you expect Brandy's gonna sing, and it's not Brandy, and I appreciated that. So
hmm
kudos for you for setting up something that didn't happen.
She
Um,
don't sing for free though. That's why.
that's why that budget was so much. If she would have come down some, they would have made some money on this movie. Eric, let's get into final thoughts on this wonderful movie, shall we?
Yeah,
As I
sure.
pull up
I mean,
your
like I said, I
list.
still think the death scenes were better in this. I thought the
Ooh,
death scenes.
why are the death scenes better in this?
I thought Jack Black's death
On the
was
whole, this one
fun.
is better. Yeah.
Jack Black's death was fun. I mean, and that's the thing. Like this achieved slasher movie better than the first one. Right. This was a better slasher film, which is what I think they were always trying to be, since they weren't trying to be tongue in cheek, satirical or otherwise, right? Um, and so this one did better as a result of it. And as a result, I think that this is actually a better movie than the first one. The first one obviously is there and necessary for the context,
Yeah.
but when it comes to what these movies are trying to be, I think two is a step in the right direction. The problem is we didn't want it back then, and I don't know that the first one actually ever needed a plus. What
Yeah.
they needed to do was something of a hybrid between the two would have made it work. Um,
Like I said, I'm very curious to see what you're going to think of next week's. Um,
so as we remember, I know what you did last summer. I think 1.5 stars.
yep.
I still know what you did last summer. 2.5 stars.
All right. All right.
I still don't think it's a good premise. I still don't think they did enough to make this the seaman character
The fisherman, by
anything.
the way,
The
it's the fisherman,
fisherman.
not the seaman.
Sure.
Although he does
Um,
come around a lot.
Hey, there it is, folks. Not funny guys, always on demand. Um, no, long story short, I this had better bones than the first one, plain and simple. And I even like the actors, right, a little bit better in this one. I think it was certainly a better cast in terms of diversity.
Mhm.
It wasn't just a bunch of white kids getting in trouble. Um,
That is true. All right.
but I wish Michelle Gellar had been here because, to my point I made
Sarah
about her
Michelle.
last time, yes, Sarah Michelle Gellar, was that she something that I don't think was brought still, though Freddie Prinze Jr. was doing a better job with it this time. There's still no character depth to these characters. There's no, oh, I care about them for some reason, right? Which you get from like a Sarah Michelle Gellar in the first one. Um, I don't know if you got it for Nev Campbell in the first Scream, but that did such a good job with everything else, you forgave it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna be really
yeah.
curious. Again, I'm curious to know what you're gonna think of. I know what you did last summer. Also, stop calling them the same title, but you'll hear that rant next week for
I'm
sure.
sure you will, folks.
God, I fucking hate when they do that. Makes
Do
everything
you?
so
You've
much.
never mentioned it.
I know I never mentioned it. It's my little secret that I wear on a t-shirt. uh, I'll be curious to know your thoughts on it. Not just because it's the third in fourth in a series, really the third, because we're gonna ignore the actual third, but modern writing. I'd be curious what your thoughts are because instead of '90s writing now you're looking at
Right.
modern writing. Does that
You're
improve?
much more message, storytelling, which I think would have been nice to some extent in this one, right? I
Yeah.
think you thought there was something that they said that was like, oh, they tried, and then they
Neither
failed,
of
and I
these
forget what
movies
it
have
was.
anything to say. I think that's
No,
part of the problem is they don't have anything they're
no,
trying to say. Also, well, I'm getting into my review. So the last one I gave 3.5.
mhm.
Um, I still think that that holds. And I will I said it the last one, and I'm going to say it again for this one. Well, the fuck
Okay.
did you end with the jump scare at the end? It made no fucking sense because it doesn't link to this movie unless you're going to say she died in that movie and then this is all a fever dream, which I guess you could do, and that's why she didn't know Rio. Maybe that's what it is. But this movie also has a fucking jump scare at the end. Why the fuck did you do that? Because you've now implied that Freddie Prinze and her are dead by this. Why did you do that? I don't
But you
understand.
also implied she was dead at the end of the first one.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said the way the
And then
first
they
one
got
ends, you could think this is
pushed
a
off as visions, I think, right? Was the
yeah. So
hallucinations or stress, traumas, PTSD.
yeah, so I don't understand what you're doing with that. Whatever, you did it. It was a choice that you made and a choice that I don't agree with. I think this movie's fine. I think this movie's serviceable. I give this movie 3 stars. This movie is so run of the mill. It is not good and it is not bad. It kind of becomes forgettable after a bit. And I say this because I watched this last year and I forgot parts of this movie. Like this movie is for other than Jack Black, there's nothing really memorable about this movie. And that's saying a
That
lot.
is that is crazy that he is now kind of the more memorable of the characters in
And
terms of characters, especially.
only because of what he's doing.
Maybe not memorable moments.
He's making
He's
bold
got a choice.
choices.
He's a character, yeah.
Yeah. At least the first one, it leans a little bit more towards good on my side. It leans more towards bad on your side, but I bet you can recall more of the first one because I certainly can. I can recall way more of the
Yeah.
first one than I can of this one.
I
And
can
I
remember the death scenes. I don't know that I can remember all of the death scenes of this one.
Yeah, I can remember Nancy's because one, I just watched it yesterday, but two, I like Nancy. But in a week, will I remember Nancy's? No, but I will remember when Jennifer Love Hewitt opens up the trunk of that car and Johnny Galecki's body's there covered in crabs, and then I'm gonna question where the fuck were the crabs and why is the
Or the
trunk
water,
clean?
or the dirt,
Yes,
the crab
I,
poop.
I will remember Leonard as a dick in that movie. There's things I remember, but this
He
one is a
remembers,
lot
folks.
harder to remember things. It's just more run of the mill. It's not a bad movie. I do think that it could be slightly more fun. I think they got the story a little bit better in this one,
Mhm.
but I still think the first one's a slightly better movie at the end of the day. Next week, you'll never guess what we're watching, folks. Never in a million years will you be able to guess that
I
we
will
are
always know what you did
watching.
last summer.
We're watching. I know what you did last summer. Um, Not the one we watched last week, just the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, which was from 2025. And I'm trying to remember where it is. I forgot to look. I know what you did last summer from 2025. It
Pretty
is
cut.
on Netflix. You can watch it on the
Hey,
Netflix. So
look at
check that
that.
out. Um, Really good poster. I like the cast of characters in this one. I would like to point out one little thing I noticed a minute ago, and I'm going to point it out again to when we record the other one, just so I can publicly shame Dr. John. You have watched and logged on IMDb
Mhm.
556 movies, Eric.
On
No,
IMDb or
or
Letterboxd?
sorry, on
What?
Letterboxd. Sorry, on Letterboxd.
Five.
556 movies.
Okay.
Dr. John has only done 392 because he's a slacker.
He is. What can I say?
Now,
Where are you at?
My friend Joel Sharpton has done 1,069.
Man.
So, you have hearted 228, by the way.
Which I'd like
And
to say I'm a little bit more reserved than your friend Joel. You know, he may have watched them all, but he's liked them all too. That feels,
he
I
likes it a
mean,
lot.
953 out of that, like that's what, 90 something percent,
Yep. Now, if we want to
95?
see mine, I don't know if it'll
Oh
tell
boy.
you. What does it tell me? Mine? That's weird. Does it not?
Yeah, up top,
Where?
up top.
Oh, right here, you
Three
mean?
3,329.
But I did historically go back and look at
That's
like
true.
from the thing. So,
That's
but
true.
there's still a
You're a
lot of.
faker.
But
This
if we
year
want
though, 99.
99 this year, I have 37 list. If we actually want to look, 99 since I started Letterboxed. I can actually give you that number pretty quickly. That won't take me but a second to get you, because of the way I did my list. So 99 this year. If we look at what I did last year, it was 290. And then the
Mm-hmm.
year before that, because I think I'll have the 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
um, 232. Let's just make sure I don't have a 23, but I don't think I have a 23. Oh, I did do a 23 plus 244. There's no way I have a 22. I do not. Oh, I do. Well, no, that's just the New Year's res. So that was just some random watch a new movie, so I'll add them. 917. But if you want to see my
Ooh.
likes, you want to see my likes, that's it. Those are my likes. I do not like movies very often. I mean, this is all on one page, so you see the
Wow.
likes. But when you like compare it to Joel's or yours, you have more likes than me, I think. I don't have a ton. I try not to
What can I say?
like unless I really like something. Like I need to actually want to put my stamp of approval on something.
Hmm.
Anyway, I know what you did last summer. Will be next week, and I look forward to that. I'm looking forward to watching that one again. I think it's going to be a fun watch. Let us know your thoughts on I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Did you watch I Will Always Know What You Did Last Summer? Are you going to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, and are you looking forward to the sequel I Know What You Did 20 summers ago when you ran over my friend Ben?
But
Um,
didn't kill him. In
but
fact, made a full
kill
recovery. Really
yes.
is good with his hands.
He's recovered quite a bit. He's friends with Stumacher now. Let us know if you've seen any of those movies by writing us at notfunnyguys.offthereels@gmail.com. That's notfunnyguys.offthereels@gmail.com. Find us over on the TikTok at nfg.offthereels. That's nfg.offthereels. Over on the Insta at not_funny_guys_presents. And while we're talking about Insta, please, if you use Instagram, go into your settings and tell Meta to fuck off and say that you don't want them to use your photos in AI generation. You have to manually check that button or have to have a private account. Otherwise, they can use all of your images and videos for AI generation. So make sure you do that. If you are SAG, definitely make sure you do that, or you're going to be using some AI stuff that you didn't want to be part of. Over on the Twitter, find us at Not Funny Guys Pod. On Blue Sky as the Not Funny Guys. On YouTube as the Not Funny Guys, where we are throwing up these episodes on there for you to be able to listen to for part of our Summerween. We also threw our Batman run over there from Off the Reels, and Dr. John is going through all of News Radio. If you would like us to do other things, please let us know. Actually, would you like us to do our Evil Dead run over there? We could do an exclusive little Evil Dead thing just for you on the YouTubes if you are interested, folks. But you got to let us know. Got to let us know. Find me on Twitter as Vash_Maxwell and Letterboxd as VashMaxwell. Find Eric over on Letterboxd as Ekly, Ekly. Check out his ever-growing movie list. You will not be disappointed. Find us also over on Off the Reels, where we are going to be doing Eric's special pick for winning the Oscars. What are we talking about later this week?
We are talking about Rookie of the Year, that wonderful 1993 film, directed by Daniel Stern.
That fucking blew
Um,
my mind, by the way. I saw that and
um,
I was like, what?
and it's all about baseball, and about a kid who gets. This was my favorite, one of my favorite kids movies. Still, I think a great kids movie, but we'll get into that tonight.
Slightly problematic kids movie in a couple of scenes.
Isn't everything these days that was
She's
made?
stacked. Milk does a body good.
I mean, that was part of. We'll get to it. But long story short, it's fun. It's a great family film. You can watch it with your kids and be fine with it, nonetheless.
All right. All right. Could you though? Could you?
Rookie of the Year, folks. It's on Netflix and Disney Plus.
I watched that on the Plus. I did not watch it on the Netflix. I didn't know it
I
was on
watched it
Netflix.
on I watched it on Netflix because where I'm staying, it was easier to get into that. They have a guest account.
There you go. There you go. All right, Eric. Thank you so much for everything you do, and I look
Of
forward to
course.
talking I Know What You Did Last Summer with you. And I'm gonna tell you all a secret because we haven't announced it on Off the Reels. After Rookie of the Year, we're gonna do all the Mission Impossible movies. Um, that will be
We haven't announced it yet.
279 hours of content.
How long?
279 hours of content.
It's not
This
270 hours of
you
content.
wait till you get to those last Mission Impossibles and you're like, this movie's like damn near 3.5 hours long. The fuck did I do? You think I'm
Well,
joking?
I had
They're long.
seriously considered the Lord of the Rings at some point. It is still a good likelihood by the next time.
You know, what's
I've got to
sad is
finish. I'm
I've
trying
thought
to
about Lord
finish
of
the
the Rings
books.
as well too. I've thought about it. How far are you in the
I really
books?
want to. So I'm halfway through Return of the King.
You've
But
made it further than me.
I'm doing it through audiobook with Andy Serkis reads them all, and it's amazing. And
I
it's great. And I've done them on my trips, and it's taken me since like 2 Christmases ago.
I have really nice editions of both of the Hobbit and then the Lord of the Rings, leather bound, really beautiful
Mm.
editions that I've had for years. I read The Hobbit, flew through it, loved The Hobbit. The Hobbit's so
Oh, that's
good.
great.
And then Lord of the Rings. This is when I discovered what problem I have with reading. Lord of the Rings, I did the Fellowship, and I did book one of Two Towers. I did all three, all of that, Hobbit through
Mm.
book one of Two Towers, while doing summer stock theater, the same theater, one summer. And then I stopped because I discovered I don't like super dense books. And The Lord of the Rings are a very dense read. The Hobbit's not. It's a kid's book. It's an easy one to get through. But The Lord of the Rings is very dense. And it's why I couldn't get through Game of Thrones. I have the first book. John gave it to me. But I tried it and I couldn't get through it. It's just way too dense for me. And it's a me problem. It's totally a me problem. I love dense movies, but reading dense books is,
There's a lot of world building, and I understand now why a lot of people say they read it over and over and over because
yeah,
they probably need to,
yeah.
right, in order to fully get the full world that was discussed. And because yeah, you're right. There's so much of these books,
Mhm.
and I will say this: by the time you get to Return of the King, it's not like that anymore. It's moving
I
because
imagine it
it
is.
has to get through, right? But so much of that first book, oh, the first half of the book, like that's the thing about the first movie, Fellowship of the Ring, they don't do it justice in telling you how long it takes to get out of the Shire,
Yeah,
right? And just to that first tavern, right?
yeah.
It takes over half the first, the half of the first book. So,
I should go back
um,
and reread those, or at least attempt to at some
I would,
point.
I mean, if you're not against the idea of an audiobook, I would recommend
I
the Andy
I
Serkis
can't do it. It has nothing to do with my qualms on audiobooks.
because it's a great performance
My
and
qualms
it's a
on
performance.
audiobook are quite honestly that I just don't like when people say they've read something when they listen to it. That's
Mm.
my big thing. But when it comes to audiobooks, I've tried. I can't get into it. I mean, I don't if it's and I know I've heard clips of him reading. So I know what he sounds like. I've seen he's recorded recording sessions.
Sure.
If it was like full on acting and sound effects and everything like a radio play, maybe I could get into it, but I can't. It's just something the way I work, I can't do audiobooks. I just never find it enjoyable. I've tried multiple times. Dr. John has given me multiple audiobooks and I just can't. Even the ones that I'm like really interested in, things that I'm like super into,
Right.
can't do it. I'll start them and then I get bored and I won't listen. Like trying to do them on car rides, everyone's like, do them on a long car ride. I can't. I
Mm.
cannot do them. But podcast, give me 20 podcasts and I can make it through those and be perfectly entertained. I
I
don't
wonder
know
if you'd do
why.
better with like if there was a way, and there might be cases like this where a audiobook was narrated or performed, more aptly in a lot of cases
I know there are
by
some that are
multiple
performed.
people.
Well, I know the new Harry Potter ones are. I know they get full
Okay.
cast for those. It's still not something that interests me. Like
Mm.
I just don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just how my brain works. I can't do it. But again, I can sit there and listen to podcasts about random things, four
Sure.
hour podcast and do just fine. People who can do audiobooks and car rides, more power to you, and I think that's great. But I just personally can't. I don't know why. Never been able to. And people who do it at like double speed, I really don't understand. That one like just gets me.
I can't do double speed for an audiobook. Yeah. I mean, I haven't had a really simple one yet. Well, I did a simpler one earlier, but like, um, I guess I could. I did some on like 1.25 a couple times, I guess.
My wife did.
But it has to be very a simple text. It's like a romance novel type
What
thing.
was the one that was like a double book? It was like a one that came out like last year, or year before last. It ended up having to be two books because it was so long. It's a woman's. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it
I'm not
was
good on new literature typically.
whatever it was. It was a woman narrating it. It was a an autobiography about a woman, and my wife was listening it at double speed, and it sounded like a chipmunk. I could hear it in my office, and I was like, I don't understand how you aren't distracted.
Was it
Uh,
Michelle Obama or like
no, it
Barbara
wasn't.
Streisand?
I think it was Barbara Streisand. That's one that's like
I feel like she had one come out recently.
that's the one that feels it popping in my head. Anyway, it sounded like a chipmunk, and I don't. That just takes me out of it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
again,
I
more
don't think I
power
could
to
do
you.
that.
Just
I can't do double speed for most things. I have
yeah,
to really just be like, just get it over with if
yeah,
I'm trying to do double speed. And like, yeah, I can't think of
yeah.
I can't think of anything that I would be watching that I feel like I need to pay attention to that I would also be watching at double speed.
Yeah. Just call it listen to the book. I listened to the audiobook. That's it. Don't say you read an audiobook. You didn't
Yeah.
read an
Well,
audiobook.
I'll often say like I read that book. I mean, I listened to it, but like
I think
I
that's
got through
fair
that
if
book,
you're
right?
like,
So I'll
yeah.
I'll clarify that like because people will ask, "Did you read that book?" And what they're asking is,
Did you get the
"Have you
content and what's in it?
right? Have you gone through the text of the book and not just like the movie, essentially,
Yeah.
or something like that, right?" And so it's this weird thing where yes, I've gone through the text of the book. So, and to quote you, I've read the book by the way you're asking,
Yeah.
but actually I listened to it, but it was still a great book. Like
Yeah.
I can say that about like everything is tuberculosis. I listened to that book. Um, I went through the text of it, all from cover to cover, essentially, but I listened to it. I didn't read it.
And one thing that with an audiobook, I wish I could go through them. I wish I could do it. I'm a slow reader. I'm a notoriously slow reader.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it to
Same.
many people. I could probably get through more things if I listen to it audio, but I'll also get distracted and I just won't.
I will admit I don't absorb
Yeah.
as much as if I were reading it. So like there are definitely I could go back and listen to this whole Lord of the Rings adventure I've done again
Yeah.
and would get more from it probably because and I mean arguably the same with a text of any sort,
Yeah.
right? You could say that. But I definitely feel like there have been several times because I do listen a lot when I'm driving. That's been the Lord of the Rings thing is my road trips,
Yeah.
and so I do feel like there's been times where the other day actually, I think I on Spotify you reach a certain limit in terms of hours or whatnot that you get to listen to, and I think it started replaying the same chapter because I was like, man, I feel like I've heard this, and I was like, chapter 9, okay, I'll remember. And then it's a long chapters in
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, so by the time it came back, chapter 9, I was like, wait a minute, this was not that far along last time, and I'm definitely hearing stuff that it sounds like. But again, it's so contextual and things that I'm
But
gaining new
Spotify
things every
doesn't let
time.
you, Spotify like only lets
You
you
have a
listen to,
certain amount of hours allotted as part of your membership, unless you want to
really?
essentially pay for an additional set of hours slash membership that would essentially add on what Audible basically would
I was gonna
cost
say, why
at that
didn't
point.
he doesn't say why not just do Audible at that point?
Well, Audible comes with its own, limitations too in terms of what you can read and not, or gain.
My
I guess you
sister,
could you could get full time, assuming it's part of the subscription, but certain books you only get one or two of, right,
what
a month, right? The
what
new
my
stuff.
wife and my sister-in-law do, and this might be beneficial for you,
Hmm.
is they go through their public library. They you can get audiobooks through your public library, and
I really
they
should do that better.
they
Yeah.
only have this is the thing I discovered, and I don't
Do they use
understand.
Libby? Do they?
Yes, it uses Libby. Now, here's what I don't get that baffles my mind because it's fucking digital, and I keep waiting for Grand Theft Auto to pull this bullshit. Is oh, we run out of digitals. Nope, no more digitals. You can't have it. You got to now wait 4 months because there's a back order on the digitals. And I'm like, how the fuck does that work? It's goddamn digital. That's
Well,
what I'm waiting
so
for. That's why I'm waiting for Grand Theft Auto to be like, we've sold out of pre-orders digitally because we only made so many digitals. Like bullshit.
I so here's where I think I'm going
I
to call that
I think
on
it's the
you.
library just gets digital copy, like X amount of digital copies from the
Right,
publisher.
licensures, right? It's
Yeah,
it's the same way as like SaaS, right? Software is a
yeah,
subscription, right? They've paid for this many seats of it, and they can only lend out that many seats at a
I
time.
know. I get it.
Whereas it makes no sense for GTA to pull that move because they are literally just at that point denying themselves money.
Well, it would
Right?
be
They're not
it would be a
creating
scare
scarcity.
it would be
They,
creating a scarcity if they were going to
but
do it.
It wouldn't though, right? Because that's not something that can get scarce. It doesn't make sense for it to get
It
scarce.
can because
All
there's
you're
not
doing,
disc copies of it though. Remember that.
but all you're
That's
doing at
where,
that point is you're just pushing some people off.
yeah,
And what if they forget? So like if I want to buy something today
yeah,
and the only reason you're not allowing me to buy it is to create scarcity, not
yeah,
because the product doesn't
yeah.
exist, right? The product is easily accessible. You can sell it. You can get your $100
You know that's what
today.
Nintendo did for years.
But
They would
but
lock
they were
stuff in
creating.
warehouses. They would create false scarcity.
Well, uh, again,
It's
I
different. It's
there's a
different because it's
slight
not
difference
digital.
because there's a physical element
I
to
know.
it,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Once it's digital, there's no need to ever have that physical scarcity
Yeah,
sort of mentality. And so at that point, all you're telling me is don't buy it right now. Okay. Well, in 5 months, like, and you know this, I'll be interested in something like, Eric, you should buy
yeah,
this. Like, I don't know. And then like 3 months later, you're like, did you buy it? I'm like, no, I never, which one? And I've totally
yeah.
forgot about it. Right. And so like, I think you run that risk in a situation where you can sell it, but you're choosing not to from a digital point. Whereas the library literally can't reproduce a second or third, copy in terms of without
It
paying a lot more contractually on their end.
it does feel like the library though gets very small amounts of them because like my sister-in-law is like, I've been on a wait list for this audiobook for 9 months. And it's
Wow.
like that's absurd. Like that you have to
Well, I have to
go
wonder how long can you have it? I imagine that
only
there's
like 2 weeks.
with a digital, it's easier to pull it back versus like a
Yes,
book.
that's what happens. So
Okay.
basically, you have to finish it in X time, and then it just disappears off of your account. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
they
that
go
is
through a
surprising. Which
lot.
one
But
is it? Do you know?
the one that was like 9 months, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to ask her. If I think about it, I'll ask her later today, and I'll get back to you tonight. But there's lots of books. Like I know she was trying to get the Becky Lynch book since I bought mine. She put it on her wait list, and it still hasn't come through for her. So that's one that she's had for a long time. But that could be maybe the library only got one.
See,
Like
I
who
can get it
knows?
from Spotify. Like,
Yeah,
but again, as long as I have the hours to get it.
yeah.
Like that's what I'm kind of surprised the library doesn't go to that model. Like we can give you this many hours of audiobook, right? But again, because the way they're probably getting it from the publisher.
Yeah. But also it's a library and the library wants to make sure that you have chance. But anyway, public libraries, since we are the other podcast is the number one podcast on public library recommendations, there's a reason why you can go to a public library is you can rent audiobooks. You can also rent movies. Some of them let you do digital
Could probably
movies as well.
you could probably rent. I know what you did last summer, and I still don't need to last summer.
Probably, I bet
I
you
bet I bet most libraries would have those. At least the first one.
I bet you one of them probably has I'll always know what you did last summer, and they are begging for you to rent it.
Please make this worth it.
We
We
will
don't want to
give
keep the shelf space.
we will give you the digital. We will give it to you. Like it's yours. Never give it back. We don't want it. I own a copy of the digital. Because when I bought it, it was a 3-pack. And it was like
Oh, okay.
$5 for the 3-pack. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll buy that. And then I watched it and I was like, God.
Wasn't even worth that.
Why did I
It
do
wasn't
that?
free after the other two were 250.
As you witnessed me give Ron shit the other day about like you just put shit in your library. And then here I am with I always know what you did last summer.
But here's the thing: you still watched it. How
I
much shit
did
exists
watch
in
it.
your library that you have never watched?
You don't want to know the answer to that question.
Okay, never mind. Because I was like, I bet like that's the difference is that if you're just buying and he's just buying to like put things in and eventually get to it.
Do you wanna I'll tell you if you really want to know. I said
You know how
look,
many things are unwatched?
I have an Excel document where I track what I watch, Eric, or what I
Jesus
have,
Christ.
Eric.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
so give me 2 seconds and
What have we
pull up
done?
I'm gonna pull up
What have
the
I done?
I know. What did you do?
Hey, as a reminder, the next time we record this podcast, the Wrestling with the Horror, which I'm sure our listeners are like, just make it end already.
They are.
The next time we record one will be our prediction episode for a Saturday Night Main Event in
I know.
Madison Square Garden.
Just very bizarre that we're on another prediction one. This is my sheet. Is this filtered?
This is making for great radio.
I know that, but this everyone has a list of shame. People have your backlog of shame with video games. Everyone does. You have your book backlog of shame. Mine is a movie backlog of shame. This is counting movies and TV shows. They're currently on this. There's 1,411 rows. It is filtered to no's. So if I were to just look at digital only, if I only look at digital, um, well, it's going to be a little bit of a mix because some of them have things. But if I do just basically digital, um, and Voodoo would be digital, 876 that I have gotten and I have not watched. Now, keep
Wow.
in mind, a lot of these I saw in the movie theater and I've seen before. I just haven't watched my personal copy of it. So that is a slight difference. Like Flubber, I have seen a bunch, but I got it a couple weeks ago for $5, and I did not own a copy of Flubber. I have seen Flubber. I just haven't watched my digital copy of Flubber yet.
Can I pose a challenge to you? And I'm going to do it on air.
Sure. Can I get through this list in 1 year? No.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. Can you get through that list as it stands at the moment of
Uh-huh.
from midterm election to 2028 election? Can you spend 2 years
Oh, that I could do because
to get through the list of
let's
whatever's
look at
remaining on the unwatched?
well,
All
take out
unwatched.
TV. You got to take out TV because Naruto see the
Yeah,
second
no TV, only
Naruto
movies.
Shippuden is 500 episodes. So take that
Oh
out. But
Jesus,
if you
okay.
do this this is stuff that I have not watched. This is only looking at movies.
Not looking at digital though. All of
Oh,
them. What
all?
would go
Okay.
back to all of them?
So add in those
But
couple of
movies
extra.
only. Yeah,
So
movies
it
only.
went from 497 to 581.
Can
Movies
you do that
only.
in 2 years? And like I said, from the moment of the election, snapshot that list and get through it.
If I started it and I was like, I got a year to do it. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying in a year, and I actually didn't have this podcast or the other podcast because that makes a huge wrinkle in
Which is
it.
why I'm giving you two.
So, two, yes, I could technically do it. Actually, I
All
can see
right.
something right now I actually need to take out. So this I actually have watched. So I need to update
Which
that.
is why I'm saying, I'm not saying today's list. I'm saying the list at the time of the midterm elections, right?
I could
And
in
I'm using
two.
the elections just because it's easier than like at the start of 2027, which you could also just do 2 years that way.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, I can knock this out. I could knock, at least I could definitely knock out anything that's not anime because a lot of the anime kind of gets a little bit linked to. So if I take out anime and next it down to 503, and the reason I
Mm.
take out anime is because a lot of that's predicated on having seen the show, and if the
Okay.
show is also on the list, it makes it a little bit harder to.
So 503, that
Yeah,
would give you about 250 a year.
yeah. I'd have to. Yes, I could do it if I actually sat down to do it. Some of these are going to get knocked out this year. All of those all of the Universal horror movies that we just got from those packs, the 30, that's on here.
Hmm.
So that's going to get knocked out pretty quick. So that's going to go down
Oh,
in
we should do
October
the Bad
30.
Boys thing at some
The
point.
Bad Boys are on here because I have the Bad Boys, the Expendables, because we just got both of us just got that 4 pack. So like there's things on here like that are on here. So technically I could. There you go. I have a lot on there, but I do actually track it.
Yeah, I mean, you could cheat. You could totally pick one of those series as your film for the Not Funny Guys,
I do that
and that would
sometimes.
double it up. Well, I'm saying as part of the challenge, during the
I know.
challenge timeline.
Yeah, I sometimes I'll do things like that. But
And I
some
don't know
of
what the
these
challenge. I will challenge our listeners to tell me what is the punishment if he succeeds.
I think you should have to do something similar, equal, but I know that you don't have a backlog like this. So
I don't.
we'd have to find something similar in
Would I
nature.
have to see if I could do as much as, or I'm saying it's a go no go, right? Either you complete it or you don't,
You could,
and that's whether or not I win.
we could
If you
do
don't win, I win. If you do win, you win.
well, we
Right?
could do you have to do equal amount in 2 years. Can you also do
Oh my God, I don't know if I want to commit to that. I'm not
but
trying
well,
to
but
commit myself here.
well, but wait a
Casey.
minute, but think about that. But think about that. If you did that, if you did that, you immediately have 104, no, 208 if it's 2 years, just from the two podcasts alone. Immediately, right
Yeah,
off the
but I mean
bat.
that's just saying any movie, right? That's
Yes,
not
but no, for you it would
adding any
have to
sort of
be any
thing.
because you don't already have like a backlog like this. So for you, unless we very specifically said, Eric, you have to watch every comic book movie. Here's the list. Go.
Oh Jesus, I'd never make it out alive.
Though it would honestly probably be less
It'd be
movie.
a lot less than that. Yeah, it'd be like 110. Yeah.
But if we did something like that, then but if you just did the same count, and then we didn't because some of these are going to be cartoons, so some of them are going to be on the shorter side of things. So at that point, it's like there's no like it has to be over 60 minutes. It's just it needs to be
I don't know. We
counted
could talk
as
about it off air. And I challenge maybe our audience can tell us what
yeah.
the win or loss. What is the punishment, if you
Eric,
will.
I'm still trying to get through Simpsons, all right? So
I'm
let's
still trying to get on Raccoon. We got to figure that out at some
we
point.
do need to do
And
Kraken.
what was your movie? Did we already watch that one?
I need to do the Phoenician scheme. So that one I actually
Hmm.
need to do.
Do
So
you
I
know?
will do my best to commit to Phoenician scheme by the end of the month. I will do
Okay.
my best to try to commit to that. I think I'll have a little bit of time that I can.
Is it just the two of us? Is John doing one?
John doesn't have one. It's just the two of us.
Oh, maybe we make that a special content.
We
Listeners, let us know if that's what you want.
I don't want
You
to.
do the Venetian scheme, I do Raccoon.
Oh, and then we just talk about it on a special thing.
I
We
don't
could
know, we
do that.
could. Do you want to watch Raccoon again?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
So
I
do
mean,
you want to make that a
I
normal content thing?
I probably would though
I know
because
you would.
to be able to rag on it. Also, Eric, because
You
of
got a
this,
great 4K edition.
I was gonna say, Eric, it is on. It should be on this list.
Oh, because I sent it to you as a
Because
new edition.
yeah,
Did you buy it originally or did you find it um
I had
like pseudo streamer
I had got it on. I'd watched it on Amazon.
for free?
Yeah. Oh, actually, here's the thing. I actually never put it on here for some reason.
Folks,
So
he's cheating the list.
every now and then, there's like one or two things that'll like. I'll be like, oh, I never add that for some strange reason, but it's going on now. Crackdown, and it was I don't think it was 4K. I think it's just Blu-ray.
I don't know. I think I got you like a nice edition, but
It is a nice edition, but I think it's
like isn't it like special edition or something like
yes, it was like
I actually you should listen to it with like the audio
if
track.
there is, I actually will.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really like to know about the raccoon going down scene. Like, um, so can I tell you something I did buy the other day?
What?
We've become a Kevin Smith podcast at this point.
Yeah, this is our
But
listeners. If you're still here, listeners,
thank you,
please write in and tell us why.
thank you. Anyway,
Thank
Ernest
you.
Goes to
Thank you.
Camp. They just released it.
Ah, all right.
It's never been on digital until like a week ago, and it's on sale
Mhm.
for $5 right now. And I went through pains to track down a DVD of that a couple of years ago to rewatch that movie that does not hold up. But it was my favorite Ernest movie. It's $5 right now on iTunes.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie, Eric. I thought about doing an Ernest run.
Can we even do an earnest run? Do we have the ability to actually get it, access to all those films
well, Dr.
and
John and I would,
films
because
and TV?
he would just pirate through my stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but
Can
the
can I can I
well, the thing is, you
a
would have
legal consumer?
we would also have to narrow it down some because there's too many. So I would have to be like, all right, we're just gonna do like 8 because I feel like he had like 30.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of TV,
Well, I mean, we wouldn't do the TV ones because we
so
don't.
that would probably save a lot right there.
But I think there's like 30 of them. I'll
I
look
don't think there's that many.
how many
That would be
Ernest movies are
surprisingly.
there. Oh, there's only 9. I thought there were a lot more.
Yeah, see, total easy.
Oh yeah, Camp
That's
Christmas.
basically a Mission Impossible.
Which, by the way, Camp is a Disney movie. I don't know if you knew that. Camp's actually
Huh.
a Disney movie. They used their other umbrella for it because they didn't want Ernest to be
Miramax?
associated with it, as a Disney character. But
Was that
Ernest,
Miramax at the time?
I think it's Miramax, the one that went there. I'd have to pull the thing. But I only knew that there was something I watched where it gave that random fact.
Surprising almost that it's a Miramax film.
Yeah. But Ernest Goes to Camp, Christmas, Jail, Stupid, Rides Again, Goes to School, Slam Dunk Ernest, Ernest Goes to Africa, Ernest in the Army. I've seen all but Africa. I've never
Oh my
seen
God. I don't want to know
Army.
about Africa. I'm so scared
Um,
about Africa.
the first the first 4 are pretty good, but I think Camp's the best, Jail's the second best, then Stupid, and then Christmas. I haven't shown the 5-year-old Christmas because I'm afraid that a part of it will be kids making fun of the kid being like, or Christmas Santa's not real,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't want to start that
I'm
because he's
fairly
still full.
confident it probably is.
Yeah, he's still
Because
full of
that feels like an
beliefs.
earnest storyline, you know? Like,
Yeah,
don't listen to them, kid.
yeah.
Let
So
me
I
do 8
just
characters to talk about this in various settings that make no sense for me to have these camera shots.
yeah. But I like camp. Anyway, I just got that recently. I was very excited for that one. That
I mean, you know what? I would be interested in an earnest run. I could do it.
it could be interesting. The question is, where are they available? That's the
Yeah. I wonder if you can get a 9-pack. Surely not.
no. I think a lot of them might be on the Plus. I think a lot of them are, and so much so, I'm just going to pull up the Plus real quick on my phone real fast and just type in Ernest and see how many things pull up real fast. So I can tell you if they're easily available. I'm willing
There
to
you go.
bet only like 2 or 3 of them are. I
Why
know.
do I feel like Africa may not be around?
I think
I think you could
stupid.
more easily do the Ernest than Medeas. I wonder how many Medeas there are.
So one Ernest is on Plus.
Is that camp?
Christmas.
Okay.
Christmas. Camp's slightly problematic for a lot of reasons.
Mm.
Um, so there's
I
that.
mean, it was a risque character, you know. As lovable and child friendly as he became, it was some interesting work. And yeah,
Yes. Interesting work is the say the least, to say the least.
it's my
I
nice
had
way of saying it.
I had 30 emails while we've been recording, by the way. On my
Jeezy,
personal.
crazy.
All
You got to
junk
get
mail.
out of here.
Yeah, all junk mail. One of them was oddly enough from Best Buy. Go and pre-order GTA 6.
Oh, is it today?
The pre-order's been for a while.
Oh, I
I
gotta
don't.
do it.
That's because they're listening in on us. I'm not. Why am I want? I could pre-order it, or I could just wait and buy it the day it comes out. It's costing me the exact same. There's no difference in
Is
cost.
there any pre-order bonus?
I think you can get like a shirt,
Uh,
so it's not
sure.
like the only good thing about pre-ordering it is the thing. If you're going to get GTA 6, you should pre-order it, folks, but don't pre-order it now. Pre-order it about a week out because, or actually, I think 2 weeks out. I think they said they're going to let it pre-download on your systems 2 weeks early because of how slammed their servers are going to get. So they're going to allow plenty of time
Uh,
so that on day it'll unlock and you can play it. So
wow.
pre-order it that little bit ahead, but I
If
don't
you can,
think
I mean, if you're going to pre-order it now. Like if you know you're going to do it, I don't see why wait. Because what I think you actually want to do is give them the ability to see how much server capability they need day
you
one.
could, yes, you could. But I'm just
Right?
saying,
That's
like,
the
if,
other side of it.
but also if you don't have the money right now, if you don't have the
Yeah,
hundred,
if
the
you need to
drop,
wait,
this
wait. Right? Yeah, I'm
wait
not
a
saying
little,
otherwise.
and
Like, yeah,
get the,
obviously, it's a fucking game, folks. Don't
yeah,
go making yourself
yeah,
into debt for it.
but get the $100 edition.
Yeah, definitely do it.
It unlocks the full game
It unlocks the
versus the
world.
other.
It's the full world.
Yeah. Anyway,
Why
thank
would
you,
you not want
Eric.
that?
Thank you for everything. As we
Ooh,
do our impersonation of Kevin Smith, and I will talk to
I'm
you
doing my
later.
best.
Thank you, everyone, for everything that you do, and please remember to always keep it not funny.